Until next time, as always, peace out. Go Blazers.
Step back, call game like Dame. Now they all know our name. Crossover, then go straight to the hezzy. I'm a dunker like Deni. Small market, yeah, we making it big. Now we got too many cameras. Clinging on guards like Drew. You can't even move, ain't nobody stopping us. Rip City turn up, we making some noise. Pass to the present, we getting like Lord. More to be rockin', we bringing the force. Yang with a dime, that's a bucket, of course. If straight about a dunk, you gotta move. Young and still hustling like Scoop. Come and tap in, see what's new. Blazers Uprise on the crew.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome in to the Blazers Uprise post-game show presented by Sleeper. Today, your Portland Trail Blazers get another win, and another win against the Houston Rockets, as they beat the Rockets for the second game in a row by a final score of 111 to 105. This was a bit of a different game from the last game against this team a couple of nights ago, as Deni Avdija got trapped all game long. Somebody had to step up. That guy tonight, Toumani Camara, a game after losing his tooth. I like toothless Toumani. 25 points, a career high for Toumani, who was stellar in the first quarter. The Blazers got down by double digits there in the second half, and then the Rockets just simply could not score, and the Blazers go on a run there at the end and win another close game and are now only one game below 500 as they have won 5 in a row, 7 out of 8 games. This is getting very close to the 10 wins in 11 game sort of stretch that they had last year, but this is even more impressive considering the guys that the Blazers are currently missing. One of those guys was listed as doubtful today. We'll talk about the injuries a little bit later in the stream, but hopefully you guys are having a good night. What a win for your Portland Trail Blazers. Eric, what's going on, man? How are you doing? I just got to say, I can get used to this winning thing, and I'm really liking 2026 so far.
Yeah, it's great, huh?
It's phenomenal. It's phenomenal stuff.
Especially when you're beating good teams like the Rockets. I know they're missing Şengün, and Easton didn't play in the second half, but or for most of the second half. But, yeah, man, winning games is fun, especially when it's not at the expense of costing you potentially lotto odds and stuff like that. Like, we're actually going for it this year. And after the last 4 years, it's fun to have a team where we talked about this last stream, where we can standings watch a little bit, where we're actually engaged with other teams winning and losing around us. And this team just continues to find ways to get it done. We know they had a rough stretch a few weeks ago, and got several games below 500, but they're clawing their way back up. And you would have thought if this happened, it's because we got healthier and we got some guys back. We haven't gotten anyone back. And in fact, now Robert Williams doesn't play after his first stint. He goes out of this game with a right knee injury or soreness or something. And so we're doing this with the same guys who have had to play this year due to these injuries, and we're not getting any help from the guys that are out. So it just makes it even more impressive what they're doing.
Yeah, this team, it's playing better defense right now. It's impressive to be able to hold this team even with Şengün out to 102 and then 105 points, and they certainly got some help by some quality shooters missing some shots. Jabari Smith certainly helped out the Blazers down the stretch. They're fouling City Sissoko on a 3, which is just one of the silliest crunch time plays that you could possibly make. Caleb Love continues to play good basketball. Deni Avdija, 20 points, but felt like a little less than that. I guess we're used to him scoring 30 nowadays, but completely different game where Houston comes out and traps him, and I thought this game was a terrific game for the Blazers. Not only did you get a win against a good team, this was a good experience for the Blazers because this is a team without a whole lot of playoff experience. You got some guys on this roster that have played in the playoffs before, although I'm not sure any of them have played tonight. But that's the thing with some of these back-to-back games in the middle of a season, 2 games in a row against the same team, is normally you'll see some adjustments from the losing team after game 1 going into game 2 that kind of mimics what you would see in a playoff series. And we saw adjustments from the Houston Rockets today as they came out and they blitzed Deni Avdija on every single ball screen. They doubled him throughout this game. Their game plan was basically get the ball out of Deni Avdija's hands, make it as hard as him to do anything out there, and hope that other guys don't beat you. And Deni had like 4 points at halftime, 6 points at halftime. I forget what it was, but he really was not able to get going in the first half. Had a little bit more success in the second half. Finishes 5 for 15, but the Blazers, this was a good opportunity for them to deal with a team that made adjustments that you saw only a couple nights before, like you would see in a playoff series, but then also get some reps against a team that is blitzing the pick and roll, because this team hasn't had a star caliber player since Damian Lillard. They haven't really had to deal with getting blitzed on pick and rolls because normally defenses will only sell out that way against a true legitimate star. Well, Deni Avdija, welcome to true stardom, because he got treated like a star tonight. They did not want him to do damage like he did 2 nights ago when he had 41 against them. And this was really good experience, I think, for Deni dealing with being trapped, Klingon making plays out of the short roll. I thought they could have done a better job of executing it, but that's one of the things where they haven't seen that a whole lot. So I'm not expecting it to be flawless, and especially when you don't have the best shooters necessarily around this team. It's a good learning experience for them in a win against a good team. Normally you don't say all 3 of those things for a young team, of course dealing with some injuries. So man, this team just looks really, really good right now. I'm really, really impressed with what they've been doing lately. But I'm also not completely shocked. This team should be able to play solid defense. They should be able to play better defense than they did in 2025. And offensively, you still got some talent out there. Deni being able to draw 2 defenders opened up a lot of space in this game. Tamani has been stepping up and been amazing in first quarters lately. Once again, he is a first quarter scorer. If he could score the rest of the game like he could in the first quarter, he might be a 20-point per game guy, because this dude has been awesome in first quarters. But just a true team effort. It wasn't Deni just putting the team on his back and carrying this team. But shout out to Deni for also making 2 clutch defensive plays. One, a strip steal of Amen Thompson in transition, which is not easy to do against an athlete like that. And that resulted in a Shaedon Sharpe lob to Sidi Sissoko. Another lob from Shea. We like that. As well as Deni's save, diving, saving the ball from going out of bounds, saving it to Tamani. I thought it was beautiful on a night where Deni wasn't able to get much going because of the way the defense was trapping him. So Deni did it another way in crunch time. He got 2 huge defensive plays that helped seal this game.
Yeah, so that was my main takeaway of this game. Deni and Shaedon shoot a combined 13 of 37 from the field, which isn't great. But Deni with those 2 huge plays in the final minute, the strip of Amen Thompson on the breakaway and that dive for the loose ball when your best player is making a save like that, risking his body for the win. You'd love to see it. And then Sharpe with 8 rebounds, 5 assists, no turnovers tonight. I thought, we'll obviously talk about the shot selection, but I thought he had some impact on this game other than just scoring like we've been asking from him. So I felt like those 2 guys in particular, despite the shooting struggles, still were able to find a way to contribute to the win, and that was really important.
Yeah, absolutely. So as we take a look at the team stats, this is kind of similar to the last game where Houston just cannot buy a bucket at all, and the Blazers get crushed on the defensive glass. They got more offensive rebounds in this game than they did last game. It was 24-6 advantage for Houston. Tonight it was 22-14. Still, the Blazers are driving me crazy with their defensive rebounding or lack thereof. But you look at, what did I say last stream? You remember what I said? I said there's 3 things. I forget one of them, but it was turnovers and fouls, right?
Yeah.
Turnovers and opposing free throw attempts. When the Blazers keep those two things in check, even with their team shorthanded as it is, they give themselves a legitimately good chance to win basketball games, even against solid to good teams. And you look at those numbers tonight, once again, they did not get, out-sloppied. Is that a phrase? Is that a word?
I mean, you can make it.
Yeah, out-sloppied. The turnovers were even is what I'm trying to say there. And the fouls were even. The free throw attempts were as even as you can get. 24 for Houston, 23 for Portland. Portland shoots better from the free throw line. They win by 6. They made 6 more free throws, despite shooting 1 less. So they don't shoot themselves in the foot at the free throw line like they have been. They shoot 91% there. Only 13 turnovers. Only 17 fouls. And then you're able to hold this team to a poor three-point shooting night. It was literally the same exact recipe that beat this team last game, played out again tonight. So continuing to just be solid, disciplined, make your free throws, don't turn over the ball, don't foul. That's the recipe for this team right now. So really, really impressed with how they've started to clean some of that up.
Yeah, absolutely. Now there's two things they have to, if Houston makes better than 23% from three, they shot poorly last game too. I think they're top 10 in the league in 3-point percentage. So it's kind of an abnormal bad game, a couple bad games from them. Did Torrey get collab cammed? What? Usually it's me that goes away.
Nope, it's me this time. I collab cammed myself.
Oh, okay. But the Blazers, you have to be able to rebound better than they did. And they had several stretches of this game where they had 2 big men in with either Rob Young or Dwap Young, and they could not get a rebound to save their life.
Well, it's Young Hansen being your center, and then Robert Williams having to guard somebody on the perimeter so he's not around the rim.
Yeah.
Like, Young Hansen cannot rebound. We'll talk about Young today. It was pretty brutal. But
so, obviously, you're not going to get away with giving up 22 rebounds and winning very often. And then the other thing is, can we please, for the love of God, not inbound to that short sideline ever again on a late game inbound pass, Torrey? Like, it has not worked at all this year. Can we just go anywhere else on the court other than the pass to the corner over there? Like, it's not working. It was not there. I don't know why Tamani even threw the pass. Shaden,
where else was he going to go with the ball? There's nobody open. Their sideline out of bounds plays are really, really bad. They just run one guy to the ball, and then they try and throw it into a guy that's standing still in the corner.
Dwap actually backdoor cut, and he was wide open for like a lob or something. But obviously Tamani wasn't looking for Dwap in that situation. You want to get it to one of your ball handlers. But, they have to get that cleaned up. But despite that, those are two things that can cost you a lot of games, not being able to get the ball in bounds and not being able to get defensive rebounds. And they still find a way to scrap and win a game like this despite those two things. And, it's crazy. I'm not even sure how they do it sometimes. Obviously tonight they hit 6 more threes and shoot a better percentage, and that kind of helps a little bit. At one point, the free throws were pretty in favor of the Rockets.
The Blazers did not get a single call. Well, they got one call, the Deni drive where he got fouled by a man. That was a bad call. I'll call it out. That was a pretty brutal call. And then, of course, that gets tweeted across NBA Twitter, yet at halftime or early in the second half, the Rockets had shot 22 free throws and the Blazers had shot 12. It's like we are not getting the benefit of any whistle. There was plays where I thought Deni got fouled much worse than that one specific call, and he wasn't getting calls. But I kind of felt like it was going to be like that today because of Tari Eason's zebras comment. Like, I knew hearing that, like, oh, the refs are going to adjust, like, tonight, and they're not going to give Portland as much. And it was really that way. Portland got hacked on a few plays. It was kind of like Houston felt like they could get away with fouling the Blazers a little bit, and it came back to bite them there in that fourth quarter because they got away with a lot this entire game. But then Portland was able to even things out at the free throw line in the fourth.
But that's the other amazing part about this game, Tori, is like you could tell early on Deni was just not going to get the same calls he's been getting lately. And at the end of this game, he still was aggressive and then ended up getting to the line a couple times, and that was really helpful. But there was one where it was the one where Klingon got that like really good offensive rebound and then passed to Deni cutting down the lane. And Deni just gets hacked, and he should have had an and one. You know what play I'm talking about?
I felt like there was a couple of plays that he got hacked on.
Well, there was one where he was just like cutting right down the lane until Klingon was like under the basket, and he dumped it off to him. And man, I don't know how we didn't get that called, but that's the kind of night it was. Like the refs were definitely not going to be the reason we won this game. And it really, man, once again, the Blazers just did so many scrappy things to win this game. And whether it's just like a little thing, like the play Deni dove to the floor there towards the sideline. Like it's just like City getting a hand on that ball to knock it loose to begin with. It just so many nice plays in this game. And then a bad challenge by the Rockets on that 3-point shot. Otherwise, they might have been able to challenge one of those other calls late, and that might have gotten overturned. But man, this team just brought it tonight, and it helps when Tamani steps up because we've been talking about this too. When you're missing so many guys, unfortunately, whether Tamani's that type of player or not, we need him to step up and be at least our third best player, our fourth best player on certain nights, and he certainly brought it tonight. And he was aggressive, man. And Tori, as pointed out in chat and several people on Twitter during the game, the jab step finally worked for Tamani Kamara. He's been setting it up all season for this moment to drop Reed Shepherd and dunk. It finally worked. So he got one person. He caught a body.
Funny? You know what's funny? Like, I didn't even see Reed Shepherd fall because when he goes to jab step, I'm not expecting him to do much off the dribble. So then I'll start looking like elsewhere on the court to see like who's where or like who might be cutting or like look at where like the help defense is, that sort of thing. So like he jab steps, I'm like, okay, this is going nowhere. I like look elsewhere on the court. And then I look back and Reed Shepherd's on the floor and he's driving and dunking. And it was like, how the hell did Reed Shepherd end up on the floor, man?
It was just a jab step and he got him.
Yeah. like I looked away right when he jab stepped. I didn't expect that to happen. I didn't expect that to go anywhere, but that was awesome.
The slow-mo, that's so funny. I loved it. He finally got someone, man. He had some good drives this game. Man, what a great game from Tamani.
Well, you know what it was? He lost his tooth, and then he immediately had 2 good drives and finishes through like a defensive player yesterday. And then he does it more today, and the 3-point ball has been better lately, especially in first quarters. He's been really hot from 3. And yeah, I'm like joking, but also I'm not joking when I say I like toothless Tamani. It's like completely different. What's up?
He did get it fixed.
Oh yeah, but you know,
fake tooth Tamani.
Fake tooth Tamani.
He's like more aerodynamic or something.
Yeah, something, you know, that jarred something in his head getting his tooth knocked out, and now he's playing a little different, and I love it. He was huge today. Like, with the way they trapped Deni, somebody was going to have to step up in a game like this. Deni was not going to be able to get 40. And it reminded me a bit of, like, the early days of Dame getting trapped, where, you know, you had CJ, but outside of him, like, who's going to get you buckets? And sometimes CJ wouldn't even have the best games while Dame's getting trapped constantly. And Dame was still learning how to deal with it, and Deni right now is just starting to learn how to deal with it. And Sharp was 8 for 22. Like, he made some nice plays, and he had some nice passes there in the second half that I liked because he had like 2 assists in the third quarter. So, like, they're trapping Deni, and then they're rotating to Sharp. Like, guys are open, make a pass. He had a really nice pass to Young, and then had that lob on the break to City Sissoko. So I do like that. But some of Sharp's decision-making, given the space that Deni was creating with some of the traps, drove me a little bit crazy in this game. So it's like you need somebody to step up and have a big scoring game. And 2 guys stepped up and scored the ball really well today. It was Tamani, had 25 points in 40 minutes, and then it was Caleb Love, 25 minutes, 18 points. 4 boards, 1 assist for Love. Like, didn't really do anything else. But when you have all that space generated from a guy like Deni, you just need a couple of guys to step up and make some plays and score some buckets. I thought Klingen showed some flashes. He had 6 assists today playing in the short roll. 0 for 4 from 3, 3 for 9 from the field. It wasn't like the most efficient game, but he had a play where he drove off the short roll and got a dunk. He had 6 assists, made some nice passes. He had another play in the first half where he drew 2 guys, and then hit the baseline cutter. You can see the feel with Klingen in that spot. So I do think there were some things that could have gone better with the way they were dealing with Deni getting trapped, but I am happy considering this team hasn't had to deal with a defense guarding Deni like that much at all this year. I'm pleased with the way they handled it, considering they don't have much experience in that situation.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, outside of maybe Young, like everyone was helping out too, and it was really cool to see. Everyone brought the intensity. I felt like when they got down 13 there in that third quarter, it felt like this, like, okay, we gave it a good shot, right? And then they come out.
You want to know what I tweeted? GG's.
Did you?
I tweeted GG's.
Yeah, I missed that.
I'm telling you. And then somebody said jinx, and it's like people are finally starting to catch on.
Reverse jinx, yeah. Man, the Blazers go. What was that lineup they had at the beginning of the fourth quarter? It was Sharp with
Reith, Young,
it was Young,
Love,
Reith,
and Sissoko.
Sissoko, I think,
something like that. Yeah,
Sissoko was like a plus 28 or something, so he had to have been in there. But and they go on like an 11-0 run to start the quarter. And it was like, oh my gosh, how is this lineup getting us back in the game? With I thought he left Young in there way too long, and then towards the end of that, we get down, I think 6 or something again, because Young gets the ball ripped from him for an easy breakaway. I think that was Reed Shepard who did that. But Sven says the death lineup, that was pretty funny. But yeah, credit to that group for just working the Rockets. And then KD comes back in, hits a 3 right when he comes back in. It's like, oh man, KD is going to finish this game off. And I don't know if he scored again. He might have had one mid-range shot after that, but we did a pretty good job on him after that, because that was his shot to, I think that was the shot. No, that was at the beginning of the third when he passed Wilt Chamberlain or whatever. But man, yeah. So Deni sits almost half the fourth quarter. Klingen sits almost half the fourth quarter, and we've got Young, Hansen, and Dwap Reith in the game, and we somehow come back and make it a game again. I just can't believe it sometimes.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I'm gonna argue with chat in the chat instead of on air, or this specific guy. Sharp stepped up during that stretch. Like, I was not pleased with his play kind of outside of that stretch today, and I'll get into why. I guess I'll read off the comment. Like, somebody said, Deni shot worse than Shaden and had 5 turnovers, and Torrey still chooses to talk crap about Shaden. Who you getting paid by, bro? Like, all right, you're gonna come in with that energy, like you're asking to get banned. Like, I'm not getting paid by nobody. Don't even insinuate that. But you just sound, when you make a comment like that, you sound like somebody that just looked at the box score instead of watching the actual game. Because if you watched the actual game, you would have seen Deni Avdija getting trapped 30 feet away from the rim and double teamed all game, and dealing with just the most defensive attention, and then Sharp having the ball behind that with a lot of space to work with. Like, you would have seen the two different contexts in which those guys had the ball in the half-court offense in this game. And Sharp had his best stretch without Deni on the floor, which I don't like. That was kind of backwards to me because it felt like Sharp had some really good opportunities, space to drive, space to attack, and he settled for, I feel like, a few too many mid-ranges. He took a deep three that he missed in this game that I didn't like, and didn't really play make in the first half. Like kind of the first 60% of this game, I wasn't really pleased with the passing. But in that stretch, he gets a bucket. He also has a really nice pass to Young. I've talked about, like, okay, he needs to do a better job of interior passing. That's what I'm talking about, because he does shift the defense when he drives hard to the rim. And he was put in positions this entire game where he had space to drive to the rim and either go up strong and finish or draw multiple defenders and make the right pass. And it felt like he struggled with that for the majority of this game. But during that 11-0 stretch, with him on the floor, no Deni out there, like, you got Caleb Love, Reith, Sissoko, and Young, like, given Sharp's struggles and the other four players on the court with him and the Blazers being down double digits, I was like, oh, this game, it looks like it could get out of hand. The fact that they started that fourth quarter out on an 11-0 run was kind of inexplicable. Like, it was impressive, and Sharp stepped up during that stretch because he needed to. Like, nobody else was going to really do a whole lot in terms of creation in that lineup other than maybe Caleb Love, but Caleb Love was just scoring tonight. He wasn't really creating for other players tonight. Sharp stepped up during that stretch, and that's kind of the thing with Sharp is, like, he can be frustrating for an entire game, but he's still capable of having, like, a good 3 or 4 minutes without much help on the floor and being able to kind of, like, uplift a bench unit. So that's what he did in this game, and it got the Blazers back in this game. So I do think he does deserve some credit for his play during that 3-minute stretch. Sissoko, really good game from him today. Love, really good game from him today. So maybe we're kind of downplaying those guys a little bit too much because those guys were good today, and they were in that lineup as well. Shout out to Young for hitting that floater. Like, that's not an easy shot for a big, because there was, like, somebody kind of on his hip. So Young, despite his struggles, stepped up, had that nice little floater. But we're back with the chat comments. Tori, give love to Love. I said earlier he played a great game, and I'm saying right now, so I don't know what more you want. But yeah, that was kind of my thoughts on it. Curious to hear yours.
Well, to be fair to Shaden, he had a really good beginning of this game, had 3 straight buckets at one point, and then gets taken out with the robotic rotations. And I don't know, man. I don't like the, okay, this person always comes out at this time type rotations. And then he came back in and was not good his second stint in the game. But his first stint, he was good. So he wasn't bad until that stretch in the fourth quarter. But yeah, he had some rough shot selection moments in this game. But man, he couldn't get a whistle either. Still continues to not be able to get a call. He got hacked on a couple of them. Deni, of course, didn't get to the line as much as he usually does. He got hacked a couple times. Yeah, I felt like sometimes, especially with a player like Sharp, if he hits a few in a row, like, I don't think you should take him out right then. I mean, maybe they're still on a weird minutes thing. I don't know what the deal is. They never really talk about it, but like, I like leaving the hot hand out there sometimes, especially when it's a player like Sharp who has had some trouble maybe getting going in some games this year.
Yeah, I mean, I'll disagree with your point, especially when Deni's getting trapped early and he hasn't dealt with it much, and Sharp has a few buckets early. That's kind of the perfect time to, like, have Deni be the first guy to sub out and kind of go over with how he can deal with the pressure he's dealing with. Let Shea see if Shea can keep rolling. But I also think, like, For a guy like Shea, I don't know. He is a pretty streaky player, so if he makes 3 in a row, you want to keep him in. I just think, I don't know. When he's driving off of Deni's space, I'm kind of forgetting his first 3 buckets, but let me pull him up. But like when he's driving off of Deni's space and you gotta take one of them out, like taking Deni out probably is gonna just make things tougher on Shea and vice versa. Like taking either of those guys off the floor is just gonna make things tough.
Yeah, well, I don't know, but why does it always have to be one or the other? Like, I don't know.
You gonna take them both out?
No, I mean, like,
see what
I'm
that
saying.
Lineup looks like.
No, I'm saying is why do they always have to, like why does Shea always have to come back in with the second unit? Why can't Deni come back in and
no,
in that every once in a while? You know?
I agree. I do think since they don't play Klingon with the second unit usually, that's one of the reasons why they keep Deni in and sub Shea out so that Shea can come back in with the bench, because they seem to like matching up Avdija's minutes with Klingons. Just good pick and roll chemistry, and especially if Deni's getting trapped in this game, that's kind of the counter argument is like you want Klingon being that short roll playmaker to deal with Deni getting trapped, so you want Klingon on the floor with Deni in a game like this. So I think that's like the argument that you could make for Thiago is, despite Sharp having 3 buckets in the first 5 minutes, keeping Avdija on the floor with Klingon made the most sense because you didn't want Avdija getting trapped and not having like a good short roll playmaker.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
Although Robert Williams can be a fine short roll playmaker, so
yeah,
like,
well, they were doing different. Like they had, like Sharp was actually in that spot a couple times because they were trying to get Reed Shepherd to switch on Deni a lot. So they were bringing whoever was guarding Reed Shepherd. So it was like different people sometimes. And I was like, because I mean, I don't think Young's ready for that, but if there's any sort of thing he probably could be successful at, it might be that, like catching the ball in a short roll with space and being able to like pass out of that. Klingon obviously had some really nice passes, especially in that first quarter. He was doing a good job of distributing the ball out of that. I don't know, like Sissoko can make a pass from there. I don't know if it necessarily has to be Klingon, but I understand your point.
Yeah, I mean, I do like Klingon in that short roll though, and I do think getting him reps in the short roll is good right now for his development, because he does have good feel in the short roll. I like that play he had in the first half where he caught the ball in the short roll and dribbled to get the defense to commit to him before he passed it to the cutter. I know that seems basic, but like some bigs don't have that feeling to make that play, right? And that ended up with an easy layup. DeAndre Ayton, for example, is shooting a 16-footer, which is a far worse shot than taking a dribble, getting the defense to commit to you, and then dumping it off to a guy for a pretty open lay-in. You know, that's just a winning play, and that's, you know, Klingon has 6 assists today. I do think there was a couple of times he needed to look to attack the rim more, and I do think that's part of his game that maybe we'll see in a couple years. Like, he's not going to blow by guys off the dribble, but if he continues to shoot the 3-ball the way he's been shooting, and guys close out on him, like, can he be the guy that just puts the ball on the floor once and gets all the way to the rim with how big he is? Like, I don't know. He did attack a closeout today, which I don't remember if he got fouled. Like, he didn't end up shooting it. I forget what happened. Maybe he passed it. But there was a play where he did get run off the line and put the ball on the floor. Mm-hmm. So I think that's, you know, something long-term to be explored. But I do like that they didn't shy away from the ball screen. They didn't shy away from the trap. They tried to invite it and then make plays out of it. Because that's the thing. If you can get the ball out of the trap, you got some guys with some space. And although the Blazers don't have a ton of offensive talent, it's still good for these guys to be put in a position where they have more space to attack.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, how often do we talk about that with Dame teams? Like, getting trapped that high means 4-on-3 for the rest of the players. You have to find a way to attack that. And you got guys like Carmelo Anthony and stuff that should be like thriving in those situations, right? And we somehow couldn't figure out a way to exploit it. But yeah, it's such a game changer if you have someone in those short rolls who can make a play. And I see in chat someone said Young can't really play in the short roll because he's too slow or whatever. In my opinion, in those situations where there's a double team and you get the ball to whoever's like rolling it in the middle there, it's not about foot speed or whatever. It's about quick decision making mentally. So like Klingon's not the fastest person, but if he just puts it on the floor, like a couple times, he probably could have gone all the way and dunked it. Well, he did once, but he probably could have done that a couple more times. And he'll eventually get better at that, I think, and attack it more often as he gets more comfortable dribbling in those situations. But the thing he was doing was like making a quick pass or like you mentioned, a play where you're drawing one of the three defenders to you and then you have, if you have cuts on both sides, you basically have someone either open cutting or you have someone spotting up that's open in at the 3-point line. And it's about recognizing which one is open or which one is going to be open the quickest. And so if you can do that, I think I think it's more about just like how you process that information quickly rather than having to be fast with the ball. So I think Young could eventually, like if he's ever going to be like a solid contributor, I think that might be a case where like we've seen him be able to make reads occasionally. Now he makes some bad ones too, but like maybe he can grow in that situation. I don't think he's there yet. So I'm not saying to like throw him out there right now for like long periods of time like he did tonight. And it's not going to look very good, but I think he just needs to watch what Klingon does, because we've been wanting Klingon to get more action in that high post area since he came here, and that's what he did a lot at UConn. So I just think the more we put him in that situation, the better he's going to get at it.
Yeah, and kind of what you described, like attacking the rim, drawing guys for either a wide open three off a kick out, or sometimes you draw defenders and a cutter will be open for a layup or a dunk. Like the goal when somebody gets trapped the way that Deni did in this game, the goal is you get a open three or you get a shot at the rim, right? That should be the occurrence. If you're doing things perfectly, which obviously you're not going to do things perfectly, but if you do things perfectly, that's where you're getting your shots. And that was where like my frustration for Sharp came in. So like just to contextualize this, we had somebody come in the chat and compare Deni's and Avdija's efficiency, or Deni and Avdija, Deni's and Shaden's efficiency in this game. But for me with Shaden was like there was multiple times he got the ball with some space to attack, and he settled for a mid-range, and maybe it was only like one or two plays out of the trap, but it just felt like Sharp was a little too indecisive when he had space in this game and opportunity to attack and try and finish. The thing is, when he did attack, he was drawing multiple defenders and just kind of making the wrong plays, so it just goes back to the decision-making stuff. And Sharp being a 33% mid-range shooter this year. That's the equivalent of a 22% three-point shooter. Like Chris Murray makes more points per shot on his threes than Sharp does on mid-range jumpers. So wasn't the biggest fan of some of the mid-ranges in this game from him. I'll talk more about like why I don't think he gets the friendliest whistle, but that's just a learning experience. Like Sharp hasn't had much experience playing next to somebody who's getting trapped all the time. What's funny is Damian Lillard has like probably... Well, Giannis probably got trapped on pick and rolls, but it's just interesting to think about, like, man, Dame playing off of Deni, if Deni's dealing with the traps that he got today, that would be weird to see Dame playing off somebody else in a Blazer uniform getting trapped on pick and rolls with the way that, Dame would be able to take advantage of that, all that space behind that. So Still, though, they get it done defensively. Let me thank some donations. Shout out to HWU, $2 donation. Says, City, our best role player. Yeah, some nights. City feels very feast or famine. Last game he was horrible. The game before that he was great. And then today he was really good as well. 13 points in his 22 minutes. He made 3 clutch free throws in a row. Maybe he should be taking our clutch free throws. I don't know.
Well, everyone made their free throws in the clutch tonight.
True. Everybody made their free throws pretty much all game long. Shout out to
the repair.
Well, yeah, repair. But are we surprised?
Was he 1 for 4 or something?
He's 2 for 4, I believe. Box score. Repair was 2 for 4 from the free throw line.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, split a pair twice. Shout out to Mox with a 50. I don't know the currency donation. Says Blazers growing as a team. Dame proud, I think. Yeah, it was cool to see Dame smiling from the sideline, watching a team win their 7th game in 8 games. Was cool to see, and man, it's fun to see this team win basketball games. Thank you, Mox. Shout out to Antonio, member for 12 months. Says shout out to City and my official apology to Love. Thank you, Antonio, for
Mox is the Philippine peso or whatever.
Shout out to the Philippines. Shout out to Freya and me with a €1.19. What is cents in Europe? Is that a euro? I don't know my currencies or my cents.
Like 190 euros. I don't know.
Yeah, in Europe, how do you say like decimals, like cents in euros? Is it just 1.19 euros? Is that how it works? I don't know. You can educate me. But thank you for the donation. It was just a 100 emoji. We love 100 emojis. Shout out to Ian Rose. What's up? Ian with a $2 donation. Says hi, Tori and Eric with a heart sign. Thank you, Ian.
What's up, Ian? It's
still cents. So is euros and cents versus dollars and cents? Tori doesn't have common sense. Yeah, basically. Shout out to... Shout out to...
Arrow's on one tonight.
Oh, it's a Friday night. We know what Arrow's up to. Shout out to MGJJ, $5 donation. Says, great win, being so shorthanded. Very proud of this team. Go Blazers. Thank you. And then shout out to Freya and me with a €2.49 donation. I got it right. Let's go. He says, paid by me. Starch and questions decision making. I don't know what the starch in questions decision making means, but I'm sure there's a typo, or I'm just dumb tonight. I don't know, one or the other, but thank you for the donation. He says, paid by me because of the guy that questioned who I get paid by earlier this stream. Shout out to Braden Tennis. Always good to see you, Braden, with a 3-month member message. Says, Caleb Love greater than Banton. Rest in peace, Banton. Yeah, rest in peace, Banton. Rest in peace, Banton. Is he better than Banton, Eric?
Yeah. Oh, and then we got Chapel Perilous with the 5.
You don't have to answer that question because of Chapel.
Yeah. They go hit a free throw, guy 22. Amit Edri. 5 Soy. Bupich and Chris M. Grover. Nice.
Shout out to Chapel for bringing the lurkers out of the woodworks, because those are some usernames I feel like I don't recognize, or a couple of them. So always love the gifted memberships bringing the people.
I wonder if we click on them, if they'd be ones we'd recognize.
Yeah, because you can't.
I mean, free throw guy 22 is in your comment.
Yeah, for sure. I recognize it. Thank you for the gifted. Alrighty, so here's the box score. Go ahead.
I want to say something about a comment in chat. I don't know if I can find it again because the chat's moving pretty fast. It basically said something about being thankful Klingon improved his block hands from last year because he was brutal catching the ball last year and has been better this year. Tori, I struggle with that narrative so much. Like, he's never been bad at catching the ball. He's bad at catching low balls because he's 7'2". Like last year, so many passes were low outside of the lob ones.
A few went through his hands that were like up here though.
Yeah, but for the most part, if they're high enough, he's grabbing them. It's the lower ones that he struggles with sometimes, and I don't know if that's necessarily on him or that. I don't think that means you have stone hands. You're just not good at bending down for a ball.
Yeah. Now he needs to improve his hands on defensive rebounds, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. Shout out to David.
I mean, he had 10 tonight.
Yeah. But 22
I mean, still
offensive rebounds. Yeah. Like I do wish he'd control the defensive class a little better. The play that pissed me off from Klingen was him letting Josh Okogie just take the ball out of his hands on a defensive board.
Yeah,
like chin it,
just caught him by
wrap it up, like. But that's what they do. That's what a lot of good teams do. Is they will like a big man will get a rebound and they'll sneak from an angle the big man can't see it and get at the ball. Like just until you're making a clean outlet pass, like chin it or cover it up, because. Yeah, you can't just hold the ball here for like 2-3 seconds and then just let him come and take it from you. Be strong with the ball. That's what you're coached that from an early age as a basketball player. When you rebound the ball, chin it, be strong with it. Don't let somebody come take it. That play was maybe my least favorite Klingen play from the year, man. Like you can't let that dude come in and take that ball from you.
I know exactly what happened. So Klingen had gotten several rebounds where he got the rebound, but there was no one really around him. And there you just turn and you go. And then when that happens a few times, you start to relax when you grab the ball. And so he grabs the ball thinking he has possession and we're going the other way. And then he wasn't expecting someone to come up behind him. You have to recognize that. You have to be aware of it. But he definitely thought he had the rebound and didn't need to secure it because he didn't think anyone was around him. But yeah, you have to be a little stronger with it there.
But that's what OKC does to a lot of teams. That's what like a lot of great offensive rebounding teams do. Is they're always kind of hovering around the glass anyway. Like they send 5 guys to the offensive glass, it feels like. So you get a rebound, you gotta be aware enough to think like, okay, I need to be strong with this ball. They flock around every rebound. So there's gonna be guys around you when you get the board.
And then he had like 2 of his teammates around him too. So he's probably thinking, oh, I'm just gonna pass to my teammate. And then but yeah, you can't have that happen.
Well, that was one of those like, man, we can't get a defensive board all game. Klingen finally gets the defensive board, and then it's like we didn't get the defensive board. Like that drove me crazy. We got Nathan in chat saying
hit a 3 off him, right?
Yeah, and then they scored a bucket off of it. That's what made it even worse for me. It's like you just basically gave them that bucket. Nathan in chat says, I'm paid by Klingen. Obviously not. I'm criticizing Klingen, all right?
Or are you doing that to throw people off that you're paid?
Yeah, maybe. Maybe that's possible. That's possible. I will say it was I didn't like seeing him go 0 for 4 from 3 today, until he's like established over the course of the season. I don't know, an 0 for 4 now, he's like, oh no, are we gonna go back to what we were before? Like,
well, he was like not, I don't know how to explain it, but he wasn't like standing like he normally does. He was kind of fading a little bit, or like swaying is more accurate. Like he wasn't like 100%, because like his threes where he's locked in, it just seems like his base is just like so firm, and he's like just so consistent with his release and all that. Today, it seemed like he was just kind of like moving when he shot it. Yeah, it's one thing to move like if you're moving like forward with it, but if you're like moving side to side, it just makes it like a lot harder to be accurate with it. And it felt like that was just like a little difference. And that was, I mean, they weren't off by a ton, but like, that's the difference between back rimming one and knocking one down.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, since we're on the topic, 8 points, 15 boards, 6 assists, well-rounded stat line from him. What'd you think of kind of like the rest of the stuff he did today?
Yeah, I mean, it was kind of magnified because we just gone through that stretch with Young not getting a rebound. So when he came back in, and we continued to have trouble on the defensive glass there. Um, it was kind of magnified, but overall, I mean, it's hard to say he's not rebounding well when he has 15 rebounds and 10 defensive rebounds and 5 offensive rebounds. I'll take that productivity all the time, but like,
yeah, but it's not all about just like your rebound numbers.
no,
it's
I
many
know
offensive rebounds you don't give up. If you can have a 15 rebound game and give up 10 offensive rebounds. Now, I will say, like, everybody's to blame. I don't think guys from the perimeter do a good job boxing out or like crashing down on the offensive glass. Like Klingon boxing out a big, battling a big that's already by the rim. Sometimes the ball go over his head. That's when you need other guys to crash down and grab those. And I don't think the Blazers do a good enough job of it. So it's not to like single out Klingon as the cause for the defensive rebound or anything, but just with him being 7'2", I would like him to. There's just times where There's just times where it feels like the ball's hitting him in the hands and he could be grabbing the defensive board and he isn't able to. And that's just where I hope that long term with his size, he's able to do a little bit more to control the defensive glass. Because, I mean, obviously that's been a big area of struggle for us this year.
Yeah. Yeah, there was a free throw where Houston shot. I forgot who it was. If it was a Kogi or might have been Jabari Smith.
It was a Kogi. Yep.
What?
It was a Kogi.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. It was a Kogi. I know what play you're talking about, yeah.
No, it was a made free throw.
Oh, a made free throw. I thought you said the missed free throw that went right back to the free throw shooter and nobody got shooter.
I think that was Adams. Or that did happen with Adams.
Maybe that was Adams.
Might have happened another time, but that was Adams that got his own rebound off a free throw. But there was a play where Tamani was on the inside on a free throw, and whoever it was next to him just stepped right in front of him and would have had an easy putback if the free throw would have missed. And luckily the ball went in. But it was like, dude, you can't get beat that bad on a free throw box out. Like that's like one of the easiest box outs you can make, and you just like completely let him beat you to the spot.
That reminds me of the clip of Ayton letting somebody do that to him.
Yeah.
Side note,
there was a new one the other day.
The new one. I think I'm talking about the new one where then they get the ball to Trey Murphy, he comes down the lane and dunks, and Ayton makes no effort to help at the rim.
Yeah.
And then side conversation, since we're on the topic of Klingon, we might as well talk about the guy that he rightfully replaced. Did you see Ayton today? 24 minutes, 4 points, 5 rebounds, a -13, 2 for 6 from the field for the Lakers, who lost by 4 at home to the Bucks. He is pulling the classic midseason DeAndre Ayton, no effort. He's frustrated. JJ Redick came out and said he's frustrated because he's not getting the ball. His own coach called him out for that. Laker fans, we tried to tell you, and you guys acted like the early season DeAndre Ayton was, oh man, this is who DeAndre Ayton is. You got fooled by the early season DeAndre Ayton, even though we warned you, and now you're starting to see exactly what Suns fans and now Blazer fans have talked about with DA.
Mm-hmm.
It's like clockwork, man. It does not matter. That is who he is.
That's why I'll always rather go to battle with someone like Klingon than... Heck, I'd rather go to battle with Young Han.
I was just thinking the same thing. Because at least he'll go hard for a basketball, even though if he might end up taking out Steven Adams' legs and then Adams lands on his head and maybe concusses him. Like, at least he's trying, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, effort's the bare minimum. Like, obviously being talented matters and effort's not the only thing. But for, like, a big man, especially if you're not a star, like, just give effort. Like, that's step number 1 for me.
Well, but yeah, I don't know if we're talking about the same one, if JJ said something else after this, but he said he needed to do a better job of getting him touches earlier in the game so he's more engaged.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm so glad that's not a worry for us anymore. It's like, because we went through that for the 2 years he was here, right? Like we had to be like, well, maybe we just have to force feed him the ball at the beginning of the game, so he's
to get him to do big man things. Insane.
That should not be what you have to. You should not have to get a certain amount of touches to be effective.
Yeah. But hey, man, I was just a hater when I questioned him before we got him and then after we got him, and look at him now. Look at him now. Listen to his coach talk now. Like, I almost wonder if there's animosity, because he had that thing where, like, JJ Redick had a comment and he was asked about it, and he was basically like, you believe that? I forget exactly what JJ Redick's comment was, but, like that's making your coach look bad, too. So things are starting to go south there, and DA is a big reason why. So just I enjoy it because now it's not my problem. You know what I mean? It's like it's like if you're dating a girl and she's crazy and she drives you crazy, and it's like your problems and it makes you miserable, but then she, like, 2-3 years later has a new boyfriend. She's your ex and he's dealing with all the same stuff, and it's like you don't necessarily wish that upon anybody, but it's like you're just happy that's not your problem. That's kind of what that's like. So Aiton's the ex-girlfriend. Anyway.
Yeah. Yeah.
Eric's speechless. Eric doesn't know how to follow that up.
Aiton and Whiteside both. I can't say 100% that Whiteside's problem was effort. Like, he just
Whiteside had his head in the
he's
clouds,
just like he's just kind of goofy. Like, he like goofed around out there sometime, but it wasn't like he wasn't trying. I mean, I think he led the league in rebounds and blocks when he was here, didn't he? Yeah. Like that takes a little bit of effort, but yeah.
Shout out to David Lester, member for 14 months, says Tiago greater than Stotts because it's hard to beat teams in back-to-back games. True.
Yeah.
True. Yeah. Shout out to one of my least favorite Stotts quotes ever. Yeah, we have hopes that one day we can be contenders, but Eric, the 7-game series are going to be tough because it's hard to beat teams in back-to-back games.
Yeah. Well, Dame said that was a famous Dame quote when we played Minnesota 2 games in a row a few years ago.
Well, he got brainwashed by Stotts.
And Dame, we played them without like half their team, and we lost. And he was like, "Well, it's hard to beat a team twice in a row."
He got brainwashed by Stotts, so
Namer says no one talked about the failed inbound today. We actually did talk about it at the beginning. Yeah. I mentioned it, but we haven't gotten it too far into it. But
we did. I'll just say this. If they are inbounding the ball with a lead in the final 30 seconds from the sideline, or in the final minute from the sideline, I am expecting a turnover. Yeah. Literally, when they set up that play, because I was watching with my girlfriend. I think I called the turnover. Because, we were excited about the game, stressing a little bit with the sideline inbounds. I'm like, they suck at inbounding from the sidelines. Watch.
Well, then Calabro's like, oh, we got our main inbounder, Kamara, and today he didn't foul out this time. And then, nope.
Doesn't matter. Does not matter. Like, this is a possible angle. Stop throwing it there. They tried to do it to Jeremy. It didn't work. They tried to do it to Deni. It didn't work, like in earlier in the season. They tried to do it to Caleb Love last game. It didn't work, even though it was a bad overturn. And then they tried to do it to Sharp.
The broadcasters like, oh, they switched up their lineup a little bit to run something different. And they acted like it was a different play, but it was just a different person going to the same spot and them trying to inbound it. Like, I don't
Also, if you're going to throw it into Shea there, I'd rather just throw it high and let him jump up and go and get it.
Yeah, dude. See, that's the adjustment, Tori. Just pump fake that pass, and then have Shea back cut, and they're gonna be don't have anyone back there, like clear out the lane, put everyone else up top, and just fake like you're coming to the ball there, and then go to the hoop and just lob it over the top to him.
Yeah. But
there we go.
They're 0 for 4 on throwing it into that spot on sidelines out of bounds plays. On the one sidelines out of bounds play, they seem to run.
I feel like it's worse than that because I think that one game it happened twice.
That one game it did happen twice. Yeah. I forget which game that was, but they, as far as I remember, they are 0 for 4.
Why do we keep doing it? Like,
draw something else up, please. Please.
The comment earlier about Thiago being a good coach, like it's hard for me to fully buy into that until we correct these little things that are.
Can I just sit courtside and then just be brought into the huddle in that situation and just draw something on the whiteboard, please? Like, it's really... Some people are going to take this completely seriously, but it's really not that hard, to draw up a sidelines out of bounds play that gets one guy open at some point within 5 seconds, but the Blazers make it look hard. Yeah, it is pretty crazy how much they struggle with inbounding from the sideline.
Apparently it is for third graders, just saying.
Like, you can't just, have one guy run towards the ball off a screen. They're going to switch because they're denying. So that screen doesn't work, and that's what they did. He runs off the screen, they deny, and they switch, and by switching, both guys are in perfect denial position. Because the guy guarding the guy cutting through just switches onto the screener, switches in between him and the ball, and the guy that switches onto the guy running is already in between the screener and the ball, so he's already in between the guy running in the ball. Like, you're not doing anything to free guys up based on being denied. That play doesn't work. They just switch that, and then you have nothing else, and then you try and force feed a guy in the corner who would be trapped against the sidelines in the corner anyway, which is not a good position to have the ball, but they can't even get the guy in the corner of the ball. They're like 0 for 4 on it this year. So I just hit my laptop. I'm talking with my hands, even though it's off the camera, and I'm hitting my laptop on accident. I promise I didn't do that on purpose. They had that play where Deni was the screener, and they tried to lob it up to Deni, and it was a turnover. I forget who that was against, but it's just awful. And that was the same play, and they tried to throw it to the screener. It was being denied, so they tried to lob it up to Deni in the middle of the floor, and somebody ran from behind. I think that was one of the Kings games that they struggled in, and Westbrook, I believe, was the guy that got that steal. So just draw something else up, because the play you're running has been horrible. I don't know how you could do worse on inbounding from the side right now.
Yeah. Shout out to Trevor Schindler for a $10 donation. Thank you so much, Trevor. Just showing support to my two favorite NBA YouTubers. Thanks for all you both do. Go Blazers. Go Blazers indeed, Trevor. Hope you're doing well.
Thank you, Trevor. And then you can read this next one, because...
I mean, I'm going to...
Oh, I'll put it in Google Translate.
Oh, it's Anthony. It says Anthony.
Oh, shout out to Anthony.
When I go to his channel. Shout out to Anthony for a $2 donation. Says, do you think we'll make any trades this year?
No.
Man, I hope... This sucks. Hopefully... I mean, I guess I didn't hear this part of the Thiago. I listened to part of it, but apparently he said that it was just precautionary with Rob Will, but we've heard that before, right?
Yeah, this reminds me exactly of when it was precautionary, 6 games into his Blazer tenure, and then he was out for the year.
And we have, 4 weeks to the trade deadline from yesterday, so 27 days or something until the trade deadline. Just please don't be out to where, because if he's out for the season, he's probably gone this offseason, and we aren't going to get anything for him.
I mean, if he's out for the season, and you can, I guess, keep his contract till the trade deadline to see if you can use it as expiring salary to match, but then after that, then you just release him.
Yeah.
And if you need the roster spot to get a real backup center. Here's the thing. Their third string center is nowhere near good enough to have Robert Williams as their backup center.
Yeah.
They need somebody that they can rely to stay healthy and play on back-to-backs as their backup center. Because their third-string center is a super raw developmental project who you're just praying doesn't find a way to screw up the game.
Yep. Well, I mean, they could address that with a cheap backup center this offseason.
If Nurkic gets bought out,
I don't know if he's going to be. He's almost playing too good, and they have Walker Kessler out for the year. So
yeah, but they have Filipowski and they have Oscar Shibwe. Who's their other center? I'm forgetting. Yeah, Oscar Shibwe's on a two-way. And
is he still there? I thought they let him go last year.
I think they still have him. I thought I saw him when the Jazz were playing. Please no Nurk. Would you rather have Nurk or Young Hansen playing, Kirk?
Serge has no Nurk too.
All right, who do you guys want as a backup center off potentially a buyout market?
Namer with a $2 donation. Thank you for talking about the inbounds. Smiley face.
Appreciate it. Thank you for your donation. I'll always talk about the good and the bad, and the inbounds are very, very, very bad. So
for those that don't want Nurk, you realize it's just as a backup center. It's not as a starting center.
Yeah. Like, who do you want to play? Who do you want to be the backup center? Young or Nurk? I'd take Nurk.
I mean, that'd be awesome if we traded for Daron Sharp, Aeromancer, but I don't know what's going to happen.
They're more likely to try and trade Claxton and then start him.
Yeah.
I think he's nearly as good as Claxton. He would be awesome as a backup center. I think he has shooting potential. He can pass. He rebounds well. Like, he's very, very solid. But healthy Rob Williams, yeah, I mean, even if he's healthy, he's not playing back-to-backs, and then we're just at a deficit. So develop Yang, but hopefully he can do so with spot minutes the rest of the season. I don't think playing right now is developing him. I think he is so far away that, like, it's just a whirlwind for him when he's out there. And some guys, I feel like as rookies, it's really good to play them for development. But some guys that are so far away, especially a big like Yang, he needs to be stronger to do what he wants to do as a big man, to box out and not get shoved around all game, to be able to post up, because he's not athletic. Like that shot he shot today that got blocked, like he needs to learn how to use his body to create the space needed to get that off. He's not going to do it with quickness. He's not going to rise up and shoot that over someone. He's not going to learn that in a game. Like, he can practice that in a game, but he's not strong enough to do it at the NBA level. Even if he tried to use his body better, he's not strong enough, in my opinion, to be able to do that effectively at the NBA level. So I think right now he just needs to get stronger. He needs to work on his jump shot. Needs to work on his form, because he's a brutal jump shooter right now. He is so far away from being a jump shooter right now. And I don't think him missing almost every single three he takes right now is really doing anything for his development. I think it's good for, some of the passing stuff and the game slowing down for him, and hopefully it starts to slow down for him, but he's so far away from being an NBA player. The Blazers have gotten lucky. They've survived his minutes lately. He was he wasn't a plus or minus anything. He was a 0 in terms of plus minus in 13 minutes, but he was 1 for 5, had a turnover, missed all his threes. Like, defensively is not good. But now he might be our backup center.
Hopefully not.
If Rob Will is out for an extended period of time, like, I think that they don't really have a replacement for that. They're missing all their point guards, but now Deni's playing point guard at all-star level. I mean, they have Sharp who can handle the ball, like Sissoko can handle a little bit, I guess. Like, they can get by. They don't really have a placement for not having a backup center.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think if you could add a backup center and a shooter at the deadline, I think I'll take it, right, without giving up like a bunch of assets, obviously. But short of that, I don't see them making a ton of moves, but I do think they'll make some sort of small move, because I don't know. I'd find it, with the contracts they have on the books next year, I find it a little weird if they like go into the offseason thinking they're going to re-sign Thibault and Rob Will. So yeah, I think it makes sense to move on from them now if they're not going to re-sign them, for someone that is just maybe healthier.
Yeah. I do want to listen to Deni's interview. People are saying in response to the Atari thing, and I do think it would be interesting to hear his thoughts on like how he got defended today. So let's actually play that. It's been a minute since we've actually watched an interview, but let's watch an interview.
All right, let's do that.
Yeah, let's do this thing. Let me make sure this is. Oh wow, it's actually set up for once. Beautiful scenes.
And then later on in the show, for those asking, we'll talk about injury stuff, including Drew.
Yeah. Okay, where is what I'm looking for? It's been so long since I've played one of these things, I don't even remember how to do it. Oh no, that's the box score interview. There we go. Yeah, I figured this would not be set up correctly. Cool.
Also, I have like a Chris Murray injury tidbit that will lead into your conspiracy theory from a few shows ago.
What was that conspiracy theory?
Well, you were talking about how they're like purposely misleading with injury information.
Well, you might as well just say it now, because I'm not going to focus on it. No, you might as well just say it now. I want to hear it now, and then we can watch the interview, because I'm not going to be focused on this interview. I'm going to be thinking, oh man, I was right again.
Well, so apparently I was told that Chris Murray left the game against Utah when he got hurt in a wheelchair, and he was 100% not playing the next game. Like, they already knew he wasn't able to walk.
Damn.
And his back was
what play was
I think
that?
it's doing. I don't remember. There was a play like late in the game where he hurt his back, but anyways, so he was 100% out. They had already ruled him out. Do you know what the injury report said for not this game, but
it wasn't that he was out.
Yep, it was he was doubtful or something. It wasn't fully out, but there was he wasn't even walking.
Yeah,
and they listed him as doubtful instead of out when they already had ruled him out behind the scenes for that.
Yep.
Yeah,
guys, like that whole spiel I went about them misleading, it wasn't just like pure speculation either. All right, like there are people behind the scenes that are saying that. Like, it's not a well-kept secret that they are being misleading with their injuries. So that's just another thing. It makes no sense. But that's exactly what they did with Drew. Questionable. Oh, now he's out 1 to 2 weeks, and then he's out 8 weeks, and then today it's like, oh, we got to throw him a bone. He's doubtful, even though like we knew he wasn't going to play. But I was sitting there on Twitter
doubtful.
Oh, he's doubtful. We finally have a point guard that's only doubtful.
Yeah. But we did that with Jeremy too. He was questionable the first couple of games, and then now he's just been out. Now he's apparently day to day, but whatever.
When did he? It was December 18th. So Jeremy's been out over 3 weeks now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Why, dude? I'm telling you though, they are purposefully misleading for no freaking reason.
But that's the other thing, Tori. Like, he's doubtful on Thursday, but then he's just completely out a day before the game on Friday or on Thursday. He was doubtful on Wednesday. Sorry. Then Thursday they list him as out for the game Friday when he couldn't even walk. They listed him as doubtful 2 days prior. Like,
was it like, oh, we need to officially diagnose this. We need to make sure that he's He has a reason for the fact that he can't walk. So we're just going to put him as doubtful until we figure out the reason why he can't walk, like officially, and then we'll roll him out. Like, I don't know. It doesn't make sense. Shout out to Me Tony, $5 donation says Mike Richmond reported Murray walked out of the locker room, but in a lot of pain.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
Yeah, I don't know.
Why? I don't get the doubtful one game and then out completely the next game, a day before the game. If he's doubtful, that would indicate that maybe it'll be better in a day or two. So
yeah,
like, why
if
are you
he's
ruling him
sore,
out
why
once
would it go backwards?
Right.
And with Drew, why did it go backwards? With Jeremy, why did it go backwards? Like, these guys get hurt and they're out extended periods of time, but they're like questionable at first. It might actually be completely fine. Oh, no, now they're out. Hey, but listen, man, if we take a look at this January schedule, you see those games on the 31st of December, the 2nd and 3rd of January, right? Don't mind the fact that it's like a week later. We're on the 9th now. But that road trip, Jeremy was only day-to-day, and they brought him on that road trip because maybe he could play. But now, a week later, he's still ruled out a day in advance of this game on the 9th. So,
Yeah. And what do they officially list his back injury as? Back soreness or something else?
I don't even know.
I'll look that up.
Anyway, look that up. We'll listen to Deni.
Chat notes.
We'll listen to Deni.
Deni, over these last couple of days, you've gotten a lot of praise from guys like LeBron, Steve Nash, Kevin Durant. I don't know if you've had the chance to see some of that sound that's been going around social media. What does it mean to you to get kind of the respect or admiration from guys around the league, especially some well-known players like that?
It's very nice. As I said, I feel like when you get respect, it gives you. Me too, man. It's a compliment, definitely, for how hard you work in and how those guys that they've seen greatness, how they talk about you and like your future. It's very. It's a compliment for me for sure.
Another thing that's a compliment for a lot of guys is the way you get defended. What did you think about the way they defended you tonight? Obviously, you had the season high last night. It seems like they really tried to deny you tonight.
I think like they try to do everything to provocate me, to get me off the game, denied me, pressed me full court, did everything in their will to me being out of the game. And I trusted my teammates. I made the right passes, and we came away with a big win.
Is that hard to keep
in moments like that and not try to force the issue?
It's hard to stay patient. Sometimes it is, because I haven't seen it so much, and that was really like a playoff type of defense, like breathing right down my neck. But I guess it's. I'm happy I overcame it a little bit. I didn't have the best game, but I found little holes and made the right passes, and I trusted my teammates. Some games are going to be like that.
You had two big defensive plays in the fourth quarter. You had the steal on Almond, then you got to the ground to save that loose ball. Even though it wasn't offense, you had a really good game defensively in the fourth quarter. You really made a difference.
Yeah, as I said, I just see the win in front of me. Whatever I need to do to win the game, and I'm just gonna do it. It doesn't matter. I sacrifice my body, jump on the floor, defensive plays, whatever I can do to help win, I'll do.
What do you think of Tony's game tonight?
Tony was great, and I'm very proud of him. He kept staying with it. He's trusting his work. He's trusting his shot, and we always talk with each other. And I like to see his confidence come back for sure.
Deni, did you see this run coming for you guys? The way you guys have been playing right now?
See what coming?
See this run, see this hot streak?
I don't think we're thinking about the runs or like the winning streaks. I think we're seeing one game at a time, but it's fun it's definitely fun to win a team two nights in a row. After all the excuses in the locker room, all the zebra stuff. I'm just here to play basketball for real, but even if I lose, I just own it. You know what I'm saying? It's a part of the game. So, but I'm happy.
What do you think when you heard him say all that? What went through your mind?
They made me laugh, for real. I mean, honestly saying, let's address it. I drive the most in the league. I'm very physical. I'm not shying away from contact. I'm going downhill, and I don't care who's in front of me. I'm going straight through them, and I'm not playing for those fouls, but I'm gonna get fouled. This is a part of the part of the game. Like, I can't control it. I'm very aggressive. I initiate the contact, and that's my game. But
I just gotta say, hell yeah, stand on business. I love that. I love that attitude, man. Let me unmute you. I freaking love that attitude. I don't care who you are. I'm going through you. I drive the most in the league. Like, I freaking love that stuff, man. You're muted.
That's a great attitude to have.
I love the way you said it. Stand on business.
Yeah.
All right, we'll listen to the rest of it. That hyped me up, man. I'm ready to run through anything and anyone after hearing that, you know?
I'm just saying, like, you just need, if it's hard to stop, it's just you gotta own it or do something else. But I'm very humble. I work hard, and I think I make the right play every time, for sure.
It's kind of felt like sour grapes or excuses or whatever.
No, I'm not gonna say excuse. I mean, I'm not gonna say excuses. I think it was coming from like emotional after the game, so I didn't take it that, like, I've been emotional after losses too.
Yeah.
But it's fun that we overcame that. Yeah.
You guys, I don't know how many clutch game wins in a row that is, but it's a few. Do you sense a difference now in the fourth quarter when you're in these tight games? Say maybe than a month ago or whatever.
Like, can you repeat the question? I'm sorry.
Yeah, so you guys are in all these close games.
Yeah.
And a month ago, I remember you guys, why are you struggling in these close games? All that, and now you've won maybe 5 or 6 in a row.
As I said, I see progress. Like, we learn, we know how to close games, and our chemistry is way better. Like, we know where we trust in each other, we're making the right plays, and like, we're defensively, we're connected.
What was it like for you at the start of the fourth, watching from the bench while your teammates made that run, and how impressed were you by that stretch from that?
I'm very impressed, because in a night that, I'll be honest, like, I struggled a little bit the first half. Guys stepped up, made shots. They were aggressive. Like, they believe in their work. Our team is just like great. Our team is just great. So I'm very proud of the guys. We were a big win.
Do you think losing some of those close games earlier this season helped? Like, do you think there is something to it of losing a bunch of games that were, 1 possession, 2 possession games in November and December?
I'm sorry, I'm not really focused. Can you repeat it again?
Because Rasan's playing music on his phone. like Joe was saying, you guys lost some close games in November and December. Do you think was value in losing those games, or do you think
So it's like I think it's a growth pain. I think it was good for us to feel a little sour and address it, because you grow from those moments. So yeah, thank you guys.
Why I get triggered when someone gives.
Shout out to the ad. I don't know why the person in the ad is triggered, but there you go. There's Deni's interview. He seemed a little unfocused during that interview.
Yeah.
Young was playing music.
I didn't hear who was playing music, but someone was.
Yeah, someone was playing music. Anyway, yeah, I mean, he talked about how he doesn't get trapped a whole lot. He doesn't experience that a whole lot. And it's like a playoff type of defense. I mean, we saw Dame get completely taken out of a playoff series in 2018 by the Pelicans. They swept the Blazers as the lower-seeded team. And that was Dame's first time kind of dealing with that. So, now he has the perfect mentor for learning how to deal with traps, although I don't know if Deni's ever going to start shooting logo threes to deal with traps like Dame did. But
Doubtful.
I love how he's just kind of honest about the whole zebras thing, and then he just straight up called him emotional. Like, it's just emotional.
Yeah.
I thought that was so funny. And then you got his mom on Twitter after this game. Portland is lucky he rolled that ankle. Know that. Congratulations. Like, all right, man. What are we doing? Okay, so Tamani. We need to talk about Tamani. I've talked a little bit about Sharp. I don't know if we still want to go there. We've talked about Deni. Kind of been off and on discussing some certain players, so pick something you want to talk about a certain player, maybe Tamani, considering he was the player of the game.
I mean, he was pretty good on defense tonight. KD made some tough shots, but I felt for the most part he did a good job of not fouling and just staying straight up. Had a really bad turnover at the beginning of the game, but it's hard to get mad at him when he has such a good quarter. Career high 25 points, career high for points in a quarter with 16 in the first quarter. I did see I forget his last name. Who's the guy? It's Kirk something that does the last 10 games efficiency for teams.
Oh, what's his name? I forget his name too. Chat.
Goodberry or Moodberry.
Yeah, Chat, help us.
Goldberry, I don't know, something like that. Anyways, the Blazers are still terrible offensively, but the defense is now on Goldsberry. The defense is right on that middle line as middle of the pack kind of average defense, and that's a lot better than it was in the bottom 10 in defense. And I don't know what their adjusted rating and stuff is for the season. I don't know if that's what you're looking up. But
yeah, that's literally what I was looking up. So this is after today. They're still 20th in net rating despite being 19 and 20. I guess there's so many of their wins are such close wins.
Mm-hmm.
They are 18th in adjusted offensive rating and 17th in adjusted defensive rating.
So it's getting better, the defense, and it's not hugely better, but it's just we've talked about this in previous streams. It's just gotten a lot more solid. And Chugga didn't talk about this in his post-game one, but he had a pre-game media availability today where he talked about some of the changes they've made throughout the season, going from a team that played super fast and was pressing a lot and over aggressive to now it's just more of a steady team. And yeah. You know what he also said in that interview, Tori, that was very interesting? It was actually from a Danny Moran question.
Oh, God.
But it was basically, the question was something along the lines of, do you like having a game where you win by 1 point and you get the win, but there's also a lot of talking points in terms of things you need to improve on and do better on? And Thiago himself talked about how there's always room for improvements, and that is a good thing to, even in wins, to look at things you need to get better at and things you need to improve. So I just want to say that's kind of Tori and my mindset for what is this, our 7th season doing this or something like that.
Yeah.
That people think that's negative, but we're just talking about basketball, about what they need to do to improve. Just because they won a game, they still need to take next steps. So
yeah, I mean, I think the difference is if I start talking about something that they need to improve, that as a fan, I'm frustrated with, I'm not just going to sit here and talk about it robotically, they need to do this, they made some mistakes here, blah, blah, blah. I will put my passion behind it, behind some of the criticism, and I'm not just going to kind of state stuff robotically. If I'm frustrated with something, I'll let that frustration show. I don't care, whereas obviously a coaching staff, film session, talking about stuff that they need to improve is obviously going to be a different tone to it. So I think that's where some of the negative connotations come from, but a lot of people think it's negative in a win to like talk about things to improve upon or things that could be better, and that couldn't be further from the truth. That's what you should do, and hearing Tiago have that attitude is good, because there's always things you can do better. There's always areas to improve. Even if you do 80% of things well and you win by 10 or 12, that doesn't mean the other 20% of things that you could be doing well that you're struggling with in that game isn't stuff that you should be trying to work on.
Well, I mean, look at the inbounds plays at the end of games.
Exactly.
You absolutely have to improve.
Exactly.
You can't keep getting away with it. It's almost cost you several games that you should have easily won.
Yeah.
And including that game against the Kings you mentioned earlier, where I forget what we were up like 15 with 2 minutes left or something, and like somehow almost blow that game, have to win in overtime. But it's like those kind of games are a win, but it's not. You certainly have a lot of things you have to improve to not make that happen.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you shouldn't, as a coach, want to barely squeak by in order to talk about stuff to improve upon. Like, you can win by 20 and have stuff to improve upon, but be happy that you did some things better than if you won by 1. So, question's kind of silly in my opinion, but yeah, I mean, that's good stuff from Tiago, but that's exactly what I said earlier in the season. It was defensively, like, just focus on being more solid. They were having so many breakdowns and putting themselves in such tough positions with the way they were pressuring, and it was not equating with good defense. Even when they were, at the start of the season, like, forcing an insane amount of turnovers and having some good defensive performances in, like, the first 5-6 games, I was the one sitting here questioning how sustainable it was, because they were turning over teams at a rate that no team had turned over teams in the past 10 years. Like, it was historical turnover rate. The Blazers were forcing other teams in the first 5-6 games of the season. But in the half court, they were terrible. Or when teams beat their press, they were especially terrible at the start of the season. But they just got by off of a completely unsustainable turnover rate. That's why it drives me crazy when people say, oh, only reason our defense struggles is because we don't have Blake Wesley out there picking up 94 feet for 15 minutes a game, because they just saw the first 5 games and saw the turnovers and think that, oh, we're only missing that because we don't have Blake Wesley. No, that was always going to be unsustainable. It was working, especially because it was early in the season when teams still were rusty and kind of rounding into form offensively. Preseason's shorter than it used to be. And they were taking advantage of that with that style of play. And then once teams kind of started figuring things out and scouting that style of play, we saw that get picked apart. They've lost multiple games that maybe they could have won if they just played solid, sound defense. And I was the one sitting here calling it, like, just try and be sound, solid, and see if your defense looks better, because the defense did not look good with the way they were playing defense. And they're still 17 in adjusted defensive rating, but the defense, I mean, just look at the last 2 games. If they pressed this team, Amen Thompson might have had 35 points each night just from blowing by everybody and dunking on everybody at the rim. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think the Blazers playing that style of defense win either of these games. I think they give up 115 to 120 points in these games, just because I think the Rockets have guys that are capable of playing downhill, especially men. But even a guy like Tari Eason, you know, you don't want to give space to Kevin Durant. And when you're letting guys beat your press and then having to rotate behind that, you're going to be playing with more space. And we saw teams take advantage of that. So props to Tiago. It seems like he's figuring out some stuff with this team. The offense, they've instituted more ball screens. They still run their motion offense, but now the Deni and Klingon pick and roll, they do run more of. And that was something I was asking for a little bit more of. The defense just focused on being sound, solid, and not making so many mistakes. That's what they're doing. The defense looks better. So I do got to give Tiago some credit. Also, the challenges, they kind of turned that around. I don't know who's responsible for calling them. Like, if there's somebody on the bench that tells Tiago, and Tiago listens to them 100% of the time, or exactly how that works. But whoever's responsible for calling challenges, that's been much better than it was earlier in the season. So I think, you know, I don't often give coaching staffs credit, because there's always stuff that I wish they were doing that they're not. But I do think this coaching staff does deserve some credit. And part of the reason why they've won 7 out of 8 games is because they're just focused on taking better care of the ball, lowering the turnovers, and not fouling so much, being more disciplined, and not just trying to full court press teams like you're in high school when you're in the NBA. So shout out to the coaching staff.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I'm just apparently Dwap got his name in the box tonight. What do you
Did
think
he?
of that, Tori?
So we just like kind of
Something.
pass around the box for fun. Well, he did block a 3 in the quarter.
He did. He had. I think he had 2 blocks maybe, but he also had that really bad foul in the corner on the
Yeah.
3. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um.
Yeah, he had 2 blocks. He had
Yeah.
2 blocks.
One thing about Thiago too. I don't remember if it was last game or the game before that when he got the technical. I thought it was a really good moment just sticking up for your player. I thought he was going to get one. They called a timeout. I think we are down 2. It was like 97-95 or something. And I forget who it was. It was Deni or Shaden because they both took turns getting fouled and not getting calls in the fourth quarter. But I thought he was going to lose it. He like stormed onto the court and I was like, don't get it. Like, this is a bad time to get a technical, like in a close game late. Like, we really don't want them to have a free point right now. And thankfully, he didn't get one. So good restraint there, even though he was getting very frustrated with some of the non-calls.
The technical that he did pick up recently, I did like that technical, though. Like,
Yeah,
sometimes I do feel
absolutely. Yep.
It gets to a certain point where as a coach you got to stand up for your players, and oftentimes coach will get a technical but the calls will kind of sway a little bit more in their favor like after that, so it kind of cancels out the point sometimes because you'll get a couple more calls in your favor that you weren't getting previously after you pick up a tech. It's funny how technicals can be productive as a coach, but I just love like he's showing a little bit more like he's a little more fiery on the sidelines. Like it seems like he's finally getting comfortable. And that's the thing with Thiago is like there's some criticism, but I haven't come on here like ranting about his flaws or about his struggles like I did last year with Chauncey Billups in year 4 of his tenure. Yeah. And it's much like how I treated Chauncey his first year. New head coach, no head coaching experience in the NBA. They're learning, right? Year 1, you could always fall back on. They're learning. They're figuring things out. They're trying some stuff that's not working. Like, okay, that's when they need to learn from it and adjust and do some things a little bit differently. Thiago doing that is a really good sign for being able to do that because there's some coaches that just are stuck in their ways no matter what. We've seen coaches be really rough in their first spot or two and then really good somewhere else. I mean, Jason Kidd was a good example of that where he was terrible in Milwaukee and Brooklyn and then did a really good job in Dallas when they had Luka. Then that organization turned into a complete mess. So, can't really blame him. But sometimes it just takes coaches time to figure it out. And that's why, like, year 1 with Chauncey, I gave him a lot of leeway. And this year with Thiago, I gave him a lot of leeway with some of the things that clearly weren't working because I thought, okay, he needs time to fix it. And then, if they're doing this all year, then yeah, and in the year could start criticizing him if they're still getting destroyed defensively because they're picking up full court. But, I mean, he saw it. We saw it. And he adjusted. So that's a good sign. And he's learning in a position that he wasn't expecting to be in. And that's why I've given him a pass. I've questioned some of the decisions, and I've talked about what I think they should do differently. Now they're winning games now that they're doing those things differently, so that's funny, but
yeah. Side note too, can we please tee up coaches that come onto the court during live play? Did you see that with Ime?
I saw him complain a few different times, so I don't know.
We had an
instance.
inbounds pass near that sideline, and he was on the court by the 3-point line yelling at the ref.
Yeah.
And it was almost, he almost ran into the person dribbling up the court. That should be an automatic technical, if not an ejection. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, he's pretty whiny. He's pretty whiny, but yeah, I'd have to see the play because I don't remember a player almost running into him. But I believe it, considering how worked up he was in both of these games.
Yeah, I agree with Trevin. If you're Tamani or whoever that was, just freaking truck him next time. And then
I mean, that's a pretty big dude, though. I don't know if I want Tamani trying to truck him. It sounds like an injury. But if Tamani gets injured running into him when he's on the court, what happens?
Yeah, I mean,
does Tiago get to fight Ime? You know,
I mean, he should be suspended for that
for as long as Tamani would be out. Yeah,
because that happened in was it the Steelers or something? If Chase is still in here, he'd remember maybe.
Yeah.
I remember like a coach like tripped someone going for a kickoff return or something. Yeah, like that always bugs me. I like get so pissed off when like players are down there. Remember, do you remember this from several years ago when Seth Curry was on the team and Markieff Morris tried to pants him from the sideline?
Yeah, I remember something like that. Yeah, that's ridiculous. Yeah, you gotta pay for that crap, man.
Apparently, Ime doesn't like Deni or something and went off on
in his interview. He can cry all he wants, man. Like, go ahead, cry.
I mean, they beat us good early in the season, but we beat them twice now here.
Oh, I forgot we played them earlier in the season. Yeah, that was the
Drew's last game.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, cry about it. Like, you don't like him. You dedicated your whole defensive plan to getting the ball out of his hands for a reason. Like, you obviously, based on your coaching decisions, respect what he's capable of doing, considering you trapped him all game long. I love it if Denny's living inside the opposing coach's head like that.
Yeah. Well, someone brought this up. Sorry, I forgot who it was, but someone brought up that for All-Star reserves, it is coaches' votes still. So that's going to suck if people like Ime don't vote for him because of some stupid thing like that.
I mean, if you're defending him the way they defended him tonight, they obviously think he's an all-star caliber player. You don't defend non-all-stars the way that Deni got defended tonight. So if he ain't voting for him, that just shows that he has sour grapes. Or, you know, you can be annoyed by the amount of free throws he shoots, but still recognize that he's an all-star caliber player and having a great season. So, yeah, I mean, I don't think it'll play out where he gets snubbed because coaches don't like him because he draws so many fouls. So many all-stars draw a ton of fouls. The thing is he drives hard as hell. Like, it's not like he's flopping all over the place. It's not like he's foul baiting at an extreme level. You know, he does hunt out contact and then sell it a little bit, but he drives hard. He's super physical. He drives at guys. He even said it. Like, his mindset is, I'm going at you no matter who you are, and I'm playing downhill no matter what. He's embraces physicality. So I love that. He ain't scared of nothing. And he's just going to attack. And if I was an opposing coach, yeah, I'd be frustrated with the amount of free throws, but I'd also respect how hard that dude plays and how aggressive he is offensively and how the way he embraces physicality.
Brandon wants to know if you think that more teams will use that game plan against Deni now.
They'll use it if they can get away with it. But I mean, it didn't work for Houston today. I mean, we scored more points than we did last game.
Yeah.
I think some teams might try it, but...
And I think Portland's just going to get better the more teams do it.
Yeah, and they're going to get... Like, once Drew's back, Drew's going to be, like, living in that mid-range space, making all the right decisions. Like, yeah.
Well, the other thing, too, is this is the difference between Dame and, you know, Anthony had some of this, too, the last couple of years. But, like, Deni theoretically should be able to make that pass to the middle every time because he's so much bigger than a point guard. So that's the beauty of having a bigger forward that can do that and get that double team versus a guard or a point guard size player is it does allow you the opportunity to accept that double team and attack it. And I think the more the Blazers face that, the better they'll be at it. And I think, especially like you said, once you get capable players on the backside of that in there, that's going to open up all kinds of back cuts and lobs and good opportunities for shooters. And once again, if we had a lights out shooter in that lineup, just think of how much even better it would look.
I know. Like, the fact that it looked decent today, considering the guys are missing, considering the lack of shooting, considering the lack of experience against it, is a really good sign.
Mm-hmm.
It's a really good sign.
Yeah, I think it does depend on the team. So Era says we'll see how the Knicks will play it. And assuming OG is playing in that game, like, I could see them as being the type that, like, OG is going to, no, we're just going to let OG guard him one-on-one and not bring a double team because we believe in OG to do that. But yeah,
I'm not
I don't know
worried
about a lot of
Deni
teams.
being able to beat OG Anunoby or Mikal Bridges off the dribble. He beats everybody off the dribble.
Yeah.
And then I like the matchup in terms of they're not particularly good at protecting the rim with Karl Anthony Towns at center. He's not a good rim protector. They have good perimeter defenders and like basically their defensive the theory of them being a good defensive team is like, okay, you hide Brunson on someone, and then you have Josh Hart, who's like solid, and then you have Mikal and OG to shut down the best opposing perimeter players, and you try not to let them get downhill at Karl Anthony Towns. If you can penetrate, and you know, if they collapse, like make outside shots and then penetrate and attack Karl Anthony Towns at the rim, that's how you get points against this team offensively.
Yeah, I wasn't saying that they'd be effective if they don't do that. I just see them as a team that has the ego to think they can stop him without having to do it, you know?
Yeah.
So I'd be surprised if they start the game at least double teaming.
I mean, also, why would you copy a strategy that didn't work, you know? Like, it's not like the Blazers were worse offensively. Now, you could say, like, hopefully Caleb Love or City Sissoko doesn't play as well, but...
Yeah. Well, Houston could also say if they didn't shoot as bad from three, they would have won.
Yeah, but I mean, Deni could have still played better. Deni could have still made more shots. Shaden definitely could have made more shots. Klingon could have made more shots. Like, it's not like... Yeah,
I'm just
they
saying,
shot
like,
better for sure, but, I mean, we had some good players not have the best games either.
It sounds like Houston's thinking that they lost these games themselves by not hitting threes like they normally do, and then us getting calls that we shouldn't have got. And so
they shot more free throws than us in both of the games.
I know, but
yeah, like they shot more free throws. We shot the same amount of threes. The paint points were almost identical.
I'm just saying that, like, I think that's their mindset.
Yeah. Well, I'm not arguing with you. I'm arguing with their mindset. I mean, go ahead and make all the excuses you want. At the end of the day, you didn't make shots. At the end of the day, you had guys fold under pressure. Jabari Smith today completely folded under pressure. He played 41 minutes from. Maybe he was tired at the end of the game. Maybe you shouldn't have played him 41 freaking minutes. If you're Ime Udoka and you want to make excuses like that, well, okay, look at the dude that completely sold you in the final minutes of this game and how much you freaking played him.
Yeah. I'm just saying, like, I could see, well, Houston, and then I could see the Knicks. Like, what was Deni 5 of 15? I think they think in their minds their strategy worked tonight. They just didn't play well enough offensively.
We scored more points than we did when Deni had 41. We scored 8 more points. So I don't think
I
that
wasn't
was
saying
a
it was
better strategy
rational.
for him.
I'm
No,
just
it
saying,
was.
I think they felt like they did a good job of shutting Deni down tonight.
Yeah, but that's the thing is it opens up stuff for other guys. So I think if I was their coach, I would have tried this as well in the second game after the way the first game went. But also the results weren't better. So offensively, you couldn't. do anything. But here's the thing, like you look at the threes and stuff, they made an insane amount of mid-range shots, especially in the first half. Like there was a stretch where I think they hit like 6 mid-range shots in a row. It was like contested, and I know that's what KD does, but they were shooting insanely well on mid-range shots. So all right, you might make more threes and miss more mid-range shots, like okay. But that's the name of the game too. Is like you got Amen Thompson shooting. How many threes did he shoot today? You can't sit there and say we didn't.
Left them open twice.
Yeah, you can't sit there and say we didn't make shots in regards to his shots. He can't shoot. He cannot shoot. If he ever learns how to shoot some sort of volume from 3 and like 35% from 3, I think he'll be a top 10 player in the league.
Yeah.
But if not, he's the kind of guy that you can play off of a little bit in a playoff series.
Yeah. For sure.
So, all right, back to kind of going through some players quickly here, then we'll look at the standings. I forget where we're at here.
I mean, we've pretty much talked about every player. I don't think we
Sissoko?
need to...
We've barely talked about Sissoko. We haven't talked about Caleb Love.
All right, I mean, obviously Sissoko was really good tonight. Making all 3 of those free throws was awesome. Hit both threes, didn't miss a shot from the field or the free throw line. Didn't really do like rebounds and assists, didn't really have anything. Obviously the 3 steals. But yeah, I mean, anytime he gives you some scoring punch, it's definitely helpful. He had that one, I was like, the challenge call.
Yeah.
I was like, why are you challenging? Like, I thought for sure that was going to be upheld because there was some contact there. But
on that play, you know what I tweeted, Eric? I tweeted City Sissoko foul machine, and then they overturned his foul. So,
and then 5 seconds later, he got his 4th foul anyway. So,
yeah. But listen, I jinxed the first one. There's nothing I could do about the second one.
Yeah.
So
we won the challenge just to have him foul on that next possession anyway. But,
I know. Here's the thing: is his fouls drive me insane, but at the end of the day, he's like supposed to be like insanely energetic, energy guy.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what you're gonna get. If he could learn how to be energetic and active defensively without fouling as much, that would be great.
Yeah,
but I think
it's kind of like we were talking about the team as a whole earlier.
Yeah, he's like the guy that didn't follow suit. He's still playing like that. So, but for me, it's like right now you kind of live with that and hope that the good makes up for some of the fouls. And today it did. Today he was really good. He hit. Let me go back to the box score here. He was 2 for 2 from 3. He was 4 for 4 from the field. He was 3 for 3 from the free throw line. Like, he made literally every shot. He had 3 steals with his 4 fouls. With 3 steals. He was a plus 28 in 22 minutes. Which is just crazy to me. But he was super active and, he made that 3. He got so hyped when he made that 3. I liked it. Made clutch free throws. Yeah, he was awesome tonight. And
it was almost an and one, too.
I know. Imagine up 1, final 2 minutes, City Sissoko, and 1-3.
Yeah, I mean, that was huge, those 3 free throws. And then Dwop hit a huge 3 in this game.
Yeah.
As well.
Yeah, Dwop. Yeah.
The Blazers kind of needed a bucket, yeah.
But that's kind of what it needs to be. Next man up mentality. Like, just step up and make plays. Play confident. And, like, Dwop has barely played lately, and that wasn't the easiest 3. He kind of turned into it and shot it quick. He shot it with confidence. Like, he's a shooter. He's ready. He has barely played. He comes in late in the game because Rob Williams is out and hits a 3, and that was a very important 3 in this game. So you gotta stay ready, and that's the thing with a lot of these guys. Like, City's been playing a lot. Caleb Love's been playing a lot, but even when they weren't, there's just been games where like it's not the easiest thing to like not play a lot and then be put in a position where you're playing against starting caliber lineups early in the season, and City had some good moments. And now they're starting to get a little bit more consistent. Sissoko and Love is, and shout out to Duop. You know, he has his struggles, but he had 2 blocks in this game. So did a couple good things defensively, made that 3. Like, there is something to be said about remaining ready and being able to step in a game like this unexpectedly and make some plays.
Yep. I mean, he's a fine energy guy.
He should be on a main roster spot.
Yeah.
He should take, Love should take Repair's roster spot, and Sissoko should take Chris Murray's roster spot.
Yeah.
Some people will think that's blasphemous, but I don't see the need to have both a Sissoko and a Chris Murray, and I would rather have Sissoko.
Yeah, we have too many. I mean, right now we don't because we have so many guys hurt, but like usually there's too many duplicative players that we just need to have one of those guys off the bench, not 3 of them, like Repair, Chris, and Sissoko.
Yeah. Absolutely. I'm just looking at box scores right now. You see Peyton Watson at 25 again?
I didn't see the specifically. I just saw the final score in that one.
Christian Brown had 0 points in 25 minutes.
I did see Coach Adelman say that he wasn't worried about Braun because he's been there before and just
with Jokic. He's been there with Jokic. I think without Jokic, he's not. Like, he cuts really well and plays in the flow in their system off of Jokic really well, but with them missing a lot of guys, that's not a dude that's going to step up and play offensively like I guess Peyton Watson is right now. Really surprised by Peyton Watson's play, but I don't know. I've always thought Brown's a little bit overrated. They're starting Hunter Tyson, man, because they got Aaron Gordon off the bench on a minutes restriction. And my guy Julian Strother is not good this year. Damn. Anyway, Caleb Love. You starting to believe, Eric? Are you starting to believe in Love?
I already said I was starting to believe. Yeah. I mean, another great game. It's 50% of his threes. I mean, you mentioned earlier he didn't do a whole lot else. I guess 4 rebounds is okay for a guard, but yeah, provided once again some nice minutes, had some good moments.
Yeah, he's just, I don't know. He's just making more shots. Like, there's really not a whole lot to say other than he's making more shots. He's just on an impressive stretch. I think this isn't who he is, the guy we've seen 10 games. I don't think that's who he's going to be for an entire season. I still think it's going to be a bit up and down, and right now he's just having an extended hot stretch. But, yeah, I mean, he was really good. He stepped up, made shots. Chat, is there anything else to say on Caleb Love? Because I'm searching for more words, but there's really none that come to mind other than that, which is just kind of very basic, but hit some huge threes. Like, he had a couple tough threes in this game, too. I do like how his drives can be a little forced sometimes, but I do feel like he's doing a better job not trying to go 1-on-3 in transition, I guess.
You're still talking about Caleb?
Yeah.
Well, he had that one where he probably should have shot it, like Lamar said, but he just threw it way too high for Klingon. Mm-hmm. I mean, I like the idea. Just they got to throw a better pass there, yeah. But the defender hadn't really come off Klingon, so that's a tough pass to make too. But
And then what'd you think of Young tonight?
Yeah, I mean, how many threes did he take?
3. Was 0 for 3.
Yeah.
He is.
I mean, I can't really say anything, I guess, if we're going to give Klingon the okay for being 0 for 4, but
yeah, we can. Young's shooting like 10% from 3.
Yeah.
And he's airballed more than he's made. and they're like all open.
Yeah. I mean, outside of a couple plays, he was back to having a rough night, I thought. Yeah. But, I mean, we got away with the minutes, so that's all you can hope for right now. This one. He has to play you. You could just play evenly.
He's nowhere close to being an NBA caliber shooter. Like, nowhere close.
No.
Like, he's what? What is he from?
He's like, I mean, he's even worse than like Klingon and Nurkic the year before they started shooting threes. Like,
well, should I say something that'll drive a couple people crazy? He's 4 for 27 from 3 on pretty much all wide open threes.
actually, one of those 4 was not an open 3.
True, it was quick catch and shoot. But like on that shot diet, dude, I could find people in my local rec league that could go 4 for 27 from 3 on those shots.
Heck, Torrey Jones could go more better than 4.
Well, that's the way I was thinking about phrasing it, to drive some people crazy. But like, no, like literally, I think I could find somebody that just plays basketball at LA Fitness. You know what I mean? Like, it's not pretty. He is that far away from being an NBA caliber shooter, in my opinion. Like, he's not like he's shooting a bunch of tough threes. It's not like he's in a slump. Like, the fact that he airballs a lot or just straight up bricks a lot, like his misses are all over the place. His misses aren't consistently close. You remember when I said about Klingon and then he starts making some threes? With Young, he's all over the place. Like, it's almost like just everything scattered, and then once in a while he'll get lucky and it'll go in the middle and go in the rim. Is what it feels like to me.
Mm-hmm.
Shout to the saddest nation says, I'm tripping out right now. I'll keep it PG. I'm sorry to hear that, or I'm happy for you. I'm not sure. But enjoy your Friday night. Young on the glass, brutal. I think I'm calling the police. I'm sober. Well, I have no idea what you're talking about, but I'm a little invested. Oh. Why are you telling us that instead of... like, it's not funny, but why are you... Yeah, call the proper authorities for whatever you just witnessed. And I don't know why you're telling us that. But yeah, go do that instead, man. I take back enjoy your Friday night, because that does not sound good. I guess I don't even know what to say to that. Anyway,
still call us if you don't want to get shot.
Yeah. Speaking of saying stuff that few people are gonna like, there you go. All right. Anything else from this game? I don't have a standings graphic ready, but I do want to pull it up because every time we win, I like that we're getting closer to 500.
Yeah, we need those standings.
Yeah. Give me 5 minutes to get them, so I'll find some things to talk about for 5 minutes, and then I'll get them.
I'll just read off chat. Other than Sadist Nation.
All right, who needs life advice other than him? I already gave him advice.
Talk about Ja, says David Chavez. Okay, let's talk about Ja Morant being available in a trade. The Blazers should 100% not trade for Ja Morant. They're in a discussion.
Yeah, no. So I was told by somebody that we should, and there's an argument made for this. You want to know what the argument was? He's super talented. He needs a change of scenery. He needs to get his head on straight. Dame and Drew are great mentors for him. You move off of Scoot, and you bring in Ja, and you buy low on him. That's the argument. That's not my argument, but that's the argument for you.
You bring in a horrible shooter, apparently a questionable locker room guy. And Tori, what position do Dame and Drew play?
Yeah, well, that's what I said, but it was one of those guys probably is going to be hurt anyway, which, I mean, all our point guards are out right now. What do I even say to that, But
yeah, that's true.
But like, you don't plan for that. You don't plan to be at your best in terms of like, the way we're going to be at our best is we're going to bring in Jaw, and then one of our top 2 guards is probably going to get hurt, and then that clears the way for Jaw. Like, it doesn't really work that way.
We need not the Jaw kind of shooters. We need like 3-point shooters. So. Yeah, I mean, I'm not like as much of a Scoot believer as yourself and some other people, but I'd still rather have Scoot at this point and moving forward than Jaw.
Yeah. Yep, agreed. Ayo Dosunmu. I would love Ayo Dosunmu on this team. I'm a big Ayo Dosunmu fan.
Rip City wants us to talk about the Pels not I don't know if you saw that, Tori, but apparently they have decided already that they're not going to trade obviously Queen or Fears, but also Herb Jones, Trey Murphy, and I think someone else before
Zion
the
Williamson.
deadline. Zion Williamson, yeah.
The first 2 names, of course, they're not going to trade them.
Yeah.
The last 3 names, they are not deciding that this early. That is basically like posturing. Like, we're going to keep them.
They're not getting good offers.
Like, yeah.
Well, with Zion, it's just a case of no one's offering them anything of value for him. There's more like a salary dump situation. And so far, they're not willing to just give him up for that because he's still an awesome player when he plays. But, I mean, I think at some point they might have to do that. But that's simply just they haven't gotten good enough offers. But also, I mean, they are not a team that they're not going to just bottom out or tank this year, especially with their pick situation that they gave up. So, yeah, all those guys are still fairly young in terms of like they all fit still in a rebuild. So outside of maybe Herb Jones, I don't really see the need to move any of those guys this season. I think they're fine waiting until the offseason.
Well, I'll say this. Trey Murphy and Herb Jones are good enough for a team like them to expect 2 unprotected first-round picks back for each of them. Right? Like, per player. But those guys are not good enough where teams are going to want to give up 2 unprotected first for them.
Yeah.
Like, unprotected first is like, that could be anything. That could be the number 1 pick. That could be a star. And neither Trey Murphy or Herb Jones are good enough where it's like, oh, they're a star. I'll happily give up an unprotected first for him. That could be a star.
Trey's
like,
closer, yeah.
Trey's closer, but it's like you don't want to give up multiple unprotected picks unless you're getting back a star.
I mean, two first, or that's still 3 less than what the Magic gave up for Bane.
How's that working out for him?
I mean, I'm just saying. I think a team would give up 2 firsts for Trey. I don't know about the other ones.
I think a team would, but I almost think like they would want more than 2 unprotected firsts for Trey, though.
Yeah.
Like I think there's just going to be a gap there where a team isn't going to give up what they want. Like you bring up the Bane trade, I can see New Orleans like he's just as good as Desmond Bane was. We want 4 unprotected firsts. He's younger than Bane was. I think he's younger than Bane was when he got traded. So, yeah, I think there's just going to be a divide there. So I don't expect them to trade anybody. There's just a divide in terms of what they would want and the value there. I think this trade deadline is going to be pretty quiet around the league as a whole.
Well, he already had Trae Young and CJ McCollum traded, but I mean, a jaw trade would be a pretty big move for someone. Not necessarily thinking like it'll work out for them, but
Where do you
just
think?
it would be interesting.
Who do you think are like the top 2 or 3 destinations for Jaw?
Well, Milwaukee has been talked about all day as being one of the top teams for
I
him.
don't like his fit with Giannis,
Yeah.
but that could be the desperation move they make. But Giannis apparently came out and was like, "I'll never demand a trade." Was that real?
I don't think he said I will never demand a trade,
That
but
was something I read.
he was like, it's not 100. I'm not 100% behind my city. I'm 1,000,000% or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that doesn't mean anything. You can request a trade still.
I don't like him in Toronto just because their best player is also a like point forward that can't shoot threes. Just like Milwaukee.
Yeah, same thing with Toronto. Yeah, Toronto's been talked about, but
You know a spot that I don't hate?
Sacramento.
No, I hate anything that they could possibly do. This is gonna feel out of left field, but I feel like might be low key possible. The LA Clippers.
I mean, I guess Harden's old, but just don't see him fitting well with those guys.
Harden can play off of him.
Yeah, I guess.
Harden can play off of him. Like that team doesn't have their pick, and they're playing better now, but they need like an infusion of buy low, high upside talent to get them to have a chance to do anything. You know, like somebody that's buy low enough that they can actually go get them with the limited assets they have, but has high enough upside to actually be a difference maker.
Yeah, maybe.
Which is also kind of the situation Milwaukee's in. I just don't like his fit with Giannis.
Yeah. But Milwaukee might just be like, F it, we have to try something new.
Yeah. Yeah, I would have liked Trey more.
Yeah, I mean, I agree.
Especially with what Trey went for.
Would have been less, yeah.
Although they don't have like a big expiring contract like CJ's. So I don't know how they would have gotten it done. Yeah, I don't know. Let me get this graphic. I'm still working on it. Chat, if you got any questions, ask us. Finally doing a Q&A. A stalling Q&A. The Rockets have been knocked down to oh, they were already 6th. But
Still not great.
But
it's still pretty bundled up though.
Yeah. Hold on. I'll talk about this once it's ready.
Do you think we become a 500 team on Sunday? Man, I wouldn't put anything past this team right now, but I mean, the Knicks are going to be tough.
I hope so, man. It would be pretty cool
That'd
to
be
be at
awesome,
500 halfway through this season.
Yeah, it would.
I mean, just imagine if the couple of games they brutally choked. You know, like they could be 21-18 right now. I don't know. But this team is like, this run is them like graduating from their rebuild, in my opinion. If that makes sense. Like, this is them like, all right, 8 games ago it looked like this could be another tanking year, all these injuries, blah, blah, blah. But despite the injuries, despite the tough schedule, we're 19-20. Like, we are squarely in the play-in picture. I would be shocked if they're not in the play-in. All right, so that they have graduated from their rebuild. Although, like, I don't know when you count the rebuild as ending. To me, it's like when you're done tanking and you're starting to be competitive and, like, you're going for it. that's when you're out of the rebuild to me, but like some people might define it differently. But that's how I define it, and that's where the Blazers are at right now.
Yeah.
All right, let's see if this updated.
Alex Wolf, that's still too early to determine, and happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Alex.
Even though it's past midnight.
Happy 3-minute late birthday, Alex. All right, standings. OKC came back today against the Grizzlies, had a miraculous comeback against the Grizzlies. They were down big, and they were without SGA. They didn't cover the spread. I doubled down on them because I thought they had SGA, but they didn't have SGA today. So, that's cool. But came back and beat the Grizzlies, so Portland gains a game on the Grizzlies. Portland now 2.5 games up on the 10th seed. And you hear this talk about maybe Memphis will trade Ja. Maybe Memphis is rebuilding. I think at the end of the day, you got the Clippers that are going to take Memphis' spot, and that's going to be your top 10. You have Dallas. They're going to be without Anthony Davis for a while. I don't think Kyrie Irving comes back. So I think them, Utah, New Orleans, Sacramento are pretty cleanly out of the play-in. And then I think the Clippers will play their way in into that top 10 and surpass Memphis, especially if Memphis is going to trade Ja and just the way things have gone there. And Portland being 2.5 games up on them with the easier schedule that the Blazers have the rest of the year. The Blazers have beaten a lot of teams actually above 500. I just think everything right now is kind of breaking Portland's way here. Now, can they hang on to the 9 seed, at least get a home playing game? Can they play their way up to 8? I truly believe they can play their way up to 8. Now, Golden State's won a couple of games in a row. Portland's still 2 games back. Would have been cool to get only a game back. I want to see that team in 8th. But Portland will have a chance against Golden State coming up soon. The game after next one, they got the Knicks and they got the Warriors. I mean, at this point, I'm expecting them to go into games against these good teams and be competitive despite the guys they're missing. And, I mean, they were pretty competitive even before they started winning games. They just weren't taking care of some of these games, and now they are. So, Finish off the homestand 4-0. I said at least split this homestand. You got an easy game against Utah, and then you got 2 tough games against Houston, tough game against New York. Just at least go 2-2. They're 3-0. They're 3-0. They've won 5 in a row. Keep the momentum rolling. See if you can get a game back at Golden State ahead of playing them for the 4th and final time this year. If you can get another win against them, Portland winning a lot of games against them this year, then you'd be in a tie. Then you'd be in 8th place. So I want to see Portland get there. Phoenix continues to win games, which is really frustrating. They beat the Knicks today 112-107. Dylan Brooks had 27. Devin Booker had 31. For the Knicks, the Blazers' next opponent, they had 27 from Jalen Brunson, but nobody else really stepped up and did a whole lot. Miles McBride in 39 minutes has 17 points. He's starting in place of Josh Hart, who's been out for a while. They did have McHale, OG, Karl Anthony Towns. Towns and OG had 15 points apiece. Mikal Bridges only 11, although Mikal Bridges is a Portland killer, just like he killed the Blazers when they played in Moda Center last year. Of course, he hit that buzzer beater. You got Jordan Clarkson, 12 off the bench. Their bench is not particularly impressive. Like their bench today, Jordan Clarkson, Mitchell Robinson, kind of their top 2 guys. And then they played Tyler Kolek 10 minutes. They played Mohamed Diawara 4 minutes and Kevin McCullough a single minute, which wasn't garbage time. They only lost by 5. So essentially it's like a 7.5 man rotation. All their starters played at least 33 minutes. So, they're a very starter-heavy team, especially right now without Josh Hart. So that's the next matchup for the Blazers. Clippers beat the Nets today, so Clippers did win. There's a ton of NBA games today. Golden State beat Sacramento. 137-103 win for Golden State. The Kings are freaking brutal. The Warriors outscored them 40-19 in the 4th quarter. Yeah, the Kings are such a mess. So that's the Blazers' next opponent. D'Anthony Melton's having some better games lately. He, tore his ACL last year? Was that what it was? Tore his ACL.
Something like that.
Yeah, but now he's healthy again. He had 19 points in 19 minutes, 6 for 10 from the field. The Blazers haven't seen him yet this year, as far as I recall. So that's a new piece off their bench that's given them some good minutes right now. Steph had 27 tonight. We've seen
Melton's
Steph go
played
off.
in the games he played.
Has he?
Yeah.
Has he just been
At least
that
two of them.
forgettable? I don't think he played the game that I've been at the last 2 Golden State games. He played the game. Oh yeah, I was at that game. Okay, yeah, he played 1 game against Portland on the 14th and played 19 minutes and had 0 points. That's why I didn't remember him playing at the game I was at, because he had no points in 19 minutes. So, have we even seen him yet? If he didn't score in 19 minutes, if he didn't score in 19 minutes, did he even play? You know, like if a tree falls in a forest and nobody's around to hear it, doesn't make a noise. But yeah, this month he's averaging 13 points a game. So like that's kind of the new wrinkle, I guess, is they have him off the bench. He's playing well. But yeah, I mean, you're 5 games back of the 6th seed now, Eric. I think it's still going to be tough to catch Houston, but you now have the advantage in the tiebreaker. I don't know when they play them. I assume they play them another time. Let's see here. Do they play Houston again? Yeah, they play Houston again March 6th. So that game, if the Blazers win, they will have the tiebreaker. And that just means that they would have to be 4 games better over all their other games the rest of the year. Is that doable for the Blazers? I don't know. You got the Lakers that are starting to struggle a little bit. Basically, if you're Portland, you just got to keep winning games and see if you can rattle off enough wins where maybe you can insert yourself in the conversation of being able to not even have to deal with a play-in, but that's still a bit of a ways away. You're 5 games back of 6. You know, if you could have taken care of business in a couple of close games earlier this season and you're 3 games back, 2 games back, then that's a legitimate conversation. But they're now taking care of games, so it is what it is. I just hope that we can start having those conversations at some point. That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, absolutely.
Anyway, shout out to Sleeper for sponsoring this stream. Use promo code Uprise. You'll get a free $20 entry. No deposit required. No money down. You can get in on the NFL playoff action. We got 2 games tomorrow, 3 games Sunday, 1 game Monday. College football playoff happened today and yesterday. If you're a Ducks fan, my condolences. Indiana destroyed them. But you can get in on picks for NFL playoffs. College football championship coming up. Miami and Indiana is kind of a crazy matchup to me. And of course, college basketball. We got a ton of big time college basketball games tomorrow. So if you haven't started scouting yet, you can put together some picks with Sleeper for college basketball tomorrow for some players that you want to scout, just to give you a reason to watch them, just to motivate you to put in your work to scout. Since we talk a ton of draft, and we'll have a ton of draft to talk about this year, we're a little bit behind on that. Would you look at what winning does to us? But yeah, we'll be definitely having a ton of prospect conversations. So make sure you get your scouting in, and make sure you get that promo code in. Promo code Uprise. You'll get a 100% deposit match up to $100 in that free $20 entry, courtesy of Sleeper. Shout out to them for sponsoring the postgame show. Anything else, Eric?
Oh yeah, just remember that Sunday game is an earlier 3:00 start, so we'll have the post-game show around 5:30-ish Pacific time, and hope everyone has a great weekend until then. And thank you so much for tuning in and watching.
Yeah,
Go Blazers.
I'm getting tired of Sunday games. Not gonna lie. just being honest, there the 3 p.m. middle of the Sunday games. It feels like we've had so many of those this year. I think we had like 5 or 6 in a row.
Well, the Blazers are doing this like family day thing on Sundays, so
yeah, I mean, might as well embrace it if that's if the NBA is going to give you a bunch of those games. But I don't know what it looks like in February. But this is the schedule ahead. So you got the Knicks, the Warriors. Then you come back home to face the Hawks and the Lakers, man. Like, those are games that I think if maybe you get Drew back, because he was doubtful today. That was the other thing. Drew was doubtful today. Do you think that means he plays soon? Or was that just like, oh, we'll throw him a bone? If he goes from doubtful to then out, I'm going to be super frustrated. So I feel like he's about to return. Like, I feel like they wouldn't piss off their fan base more by listing him doubtful and then start listing him out again. But who knows? I can't put anything past this team.
Yeah. Hopefully by the time later this month we have that 3-day break, and then a couple weeks after that we have the All-Star break. Hopefully we start to get some guys healthy.
Yeah. Yeah, we got the trade deadline coming up in, let's see, 3, 6, 10, 12 games from now.
Yeah. Did you see we have 3 straight back-to-backs later this month?
3 straight. Yeah, the 17th, 18th, 22nd, 23rd, 26th, 27th.
I mean, at least they're spread out a few games. But...
Yeah, like I don't hate that because you got 3 days off after the first back-to-back, 2 days off after the second back-to-back. So like, they'll view them, 3 straight, but it's not like it's, in a super condensed period of time. So this team has played decent on back-to-backs. At least the last 2, they got wins. So, and hopefully they'll have some healthier bodies. Hopefully Scoot returns for one of the games on this schedule. Are you confident in that at all, or confident in that not happening?
I'm not confident that he'll be back this month. No, I don't think he will be.
Ugh. I think Drew will return.
Yeah.
I think Drew is
still
going to
need
be the
to
first
update
guy
the days
back.
all the time. We know, chat.
Yeah, I think Drew's going to be back before Jeremy.
Yeah, obviously Drew's the closest to being back.
I think Drew will be back this week. That's my guess. And then
hopefully Robbo's okay. It was just like 3 games ago that he was listed as questionable or something and then ended up playing, but that was with left knee management.
Yeah.
Tonight they said right knee.
I mean, Jeremy has to return at some point in January, right? Like, what? It would be insane.
If he's day to day, then that's.
It would be insane to call him day to day for 5 weeks and say he's day to day. So we brought him on the road trip at the start of January, and then he doesn't return at all in the entirety of January. Would be kind of wild. So, yeah, hopefully.
But would you be surprised?
God, dude, I wouldn't be surprised with anything at this point. So they are very misleading. So Drew, hopefully sometime this week, and then Jeremy, hopefully sometime in the next 2 to 3 weeks, and then Scoot, hopefully in the next 3 to 4 weeks is kind of the timelines I'm looking at there. Hopefully Rob's injury isn't serious, and it would be cool to have a lineup consisting of Drew, Sharp, Tamani, Deni, Klingon, and then off the bench have Scoot, have Jeremy, have Robert Williams, and then who's your 9th man there?
I don't know, man.
Let's say Matisse returns too. Chat, who would you play as the 9th man there? Caleb Love? Sissoko? I think it would be like Sissoko or Love, depending on the matchup, because if you're playing Love, you're probably playing Sharp some at some 3. So if it's a smaller team, maybe that's what you go with. And if it's a bigger team, maybe you go with Sissoko. I don't know. The funny thing is the first 2 names that jump to mind is our 2-way guys, not anybody else on our roster. Like, I might rather play Caleb Love or City Sissoko over Matisse Thybulle. Like, that's crazy. And all the other guys, like, I'd play them over. So, anyway, thank you guys for watching the stream. We'll be live again on Sunday, like Eric said, to see the Blazers take on the Knicks. Hopefully they get another win. Shout out to Sleeper. Use promo code Uprise. Blazers win their 5th straight. Shout out to Tamani Kamara for setting a career high for starting games as hot as he started lately. Shout out to Deni for making 2 huge defensive plays down the stretch. Shout out to the Blazers defense for once again stepping up today. They've been a bit better on that end lately. They've been more solid, more disciplined. They're not fouling as much. They're not turning over the ball as much. And they've been making their free throws. You do those 3 things, that you have a much better chance of winning. And it's a big reason why the Blazers have been winning more. We're out of here. We'll see if they can keep things rolling for their 6th straight on Sunday. Have a good weekend until then. As always, peace out. Go Blazers!